1400 WOND, South Jersey's news talk leader. Listen online at WONDradio.com.
It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. More polls closing at this hour, and ABC News projects wins for Hillary Clinton in Rhode Island, Delaware, Illinois, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, and wins for Donald Trump in Mississippi and Oklahoma. These projections based on analysis of preliminary exit poll data. Earlier, ABC News projected wins for Trump in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Indiana, and a win in Vermont for Clinton. Software problems caused some voting delays in North Carolina's heavily Democratic Durham County. The State Board of Elections ordered polls in 2 precincts to remain open an additional hour and anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes more in 6 more precincts. Both candidates taking in the returns in New York City. Mrs. Clinton's election night speech will come from a location loaded with symbolism.
The stage here at the Javits Center on Manhattan's west side is a sea of American flags. On each side of the convention hall, giant flags, each 30 by 50 feet. And yes, this place does have a glass ceiling. It also has glass walls. Hillary Clinton isn't here, though. She and her family will be watching election returns at a New York hotel that's along Fifth Avenue, and just happens to be 1 block, the campaign says, from Trump Tower, where Donald Trump will be watching the election returns with his family.
ABC's Sherry Preston. In Azusa, California, at least 1 person's been killed and 2 wounded in a shooting incident. The shooter, armed with a rapid-fire gun, may be barricaded. A nearby polling place has been moved. In Oklahoma, state officials are ordering some oil companies to close wastewater wells near the epicenter of this past weekend's earthquake.
Oklahoma officials say it was the oil and gas pumping wastewater that created that damaging 5.0 earthquake Sunday and many others over the last few years. Now they're ordering energy companies to close 6 of those underground waste wells.
All these actions are needed, but there is no instant off switch.
Oklahoma Corporation Commission spokesperson Matt Skinner saying the order could slow oil and gas production, as oil companies must find some place that isn't underground to put it. Andy Field, ABC News.
You're listening to ABC News.
Outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-436-0169 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-436-0169 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-436-0169. That's 1-800-436-0169. Again, 1-800-436-0169.
South Jersey's News Talk, 1400 WOND.
51 degrees, partly cloudy skies at Longport Media Studios on New Road in Linwood. WOND News Time, 8:03. Good evening, I'm Nick Wargo. The polls have closed throughout South Jersey, and in just a few minutes, stay tuned for the latest on the national and local election coverage with David Spatz, Don Williams, and Bob Burns with complete information in just a few minutes from now on News Talk 1400 WOND. Turning to other news, the victim who was hit and killed by a New Jersey transit bus as he crossed the Whitehorse Pike Saturday night has been identified as a Pleasantville man. Authorities say 58-year-old Frederick Sclafford was pronounced dead at the scene shortly before 11 p.m. after he was hit by a bus traveling east on Route 30 near Jimmy Leeds Road. Police said neither the bus driver nor any passengers were hurt in the crash, and weather conditions were clear at the time. An investigation into the crash continues. Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed the crash to contact Galloway Township Police. Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian isn't commenting on the State Department of Community Affairs' second rejection of the city's financial recovery plan. New Jersey's local finance board is scheduled to meet tomorrow and could vote on how the state plans to take over operations of the city. 1 week ago, the DCA rejected Atlantic City's plan as too vague and said there were too many unanswered questions and too much of a reliance on state aid. The city filed a last-minute amended plan that it said answered all the state's questions, but on Monday, DCA Commissioner Charles Richmond released a 14-page response to the city's last-ditch effort that it hoped would convince Richmond to change his mind and accept the plan to reduce spending, balance the city's budget, and pay down about $500 million in debt. If the state does take over the city, it could unilaterally cut expenses and raise money in various ways. It could void union contracts, lay off city workers, sell valuable city assets like the water company in Baderfield, and enter shared services agreements with the county and other communities. When the financial plan was first rejected, Atlantic City vowed to fight the takeover in court. WOND News Time 8:05. Let's hear from meteorologist Dan Skeldon in the Longport Media 24-hour Weather Center.
Mostly clear this evening. If you're heading to the polls before they close, weather cooperates. Temperatures stay up overnight as clouds increase, so instead of 30s, we'll stay up in the mid-40s. Wednesday, mostly cloudy. Some rain showers or light rain likely. Only wet weather in the forecast. Cooler highs in the upper 50s. Sunshine back on Thursday, mostly sunny, mid to upper 50s. Low 60s, partly sunny, windy on Friday, then windy and much colder to start the weekend. In the Longport Media 24-hour Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dan Skeldon.
Ocean water temperature 57 off the Steel Pier in Atlantic City. Right now, 51 degrees outside Longport Media Studios on New Road in Linwood. Relative humidity 67%, 30.6 is the barometer. It's falling. The winds are calm. 55 degrees across much of South Jersey. I'm Nick Wargo, WOND News. Stay tuned for live, complete election night coverage from WOND and ABC News. Coming up next on News Talk 1400, WOND, South Jersey's News Talk leader.
Join Bob Burns every Monday at 1 p.m. for Blue Monday. Bob will visit with a representative from our local police departments each week. It's your opportunity to get to know and understand our men and women in blue even better. So don't forget, Monday at 1 p.m. on News Talk 1400 WOND, it's Blue Monday.
Blue Monday. Live and local radio you can depend on for accurate news and stimulating talk. News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey's News Talk leader.
From the studios of Green Broadcast Plaza in Linwood, News Talk 1400 WOND welcomes you to Decision 2016 Election Night coverage. Your complete source for the results of tonight's presidential election, as well as the outcome of races in our immediate area. Tonight's exclusive broadcast is made possible by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning. Now from WOND's Election Night headquarters, here are your hosts, Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
And good evening, everyone. Good evening. And Bob Burns, you want to say good evening?
How you doing there, Don? You doing all right?
I'm going to try and say good evening and not good morning for a while.
It'll be tough. I know how that works.
That's good. It might be a tough evening for someone like me.
This is we've done this a couple of times in the past, haven't we?
Just a few. I think was it 16th time?
19th.
19th. Oh wow.
19th.
19th. You don't look any different.
Yeah. I got more forehead.
The 19th time, and one of the times we was last year. We won. This team won a big award.
We got an award. Yeah,
that's
we did
right.
all right. Yeah.
Let's see if we can keep that up tonight.
I'm looking forward to that. I was very proud of the fact that we won that award. It's we worked together for a long time in a lot of different ways, and that was it was just a little pat on the back to what we do.
With that little cream on the top. And, we have some results that are already in for those people out there that may not have heard. And we have David Spatz with us, the news director, and he has some over there, right, David?
Right now, Don and Bob, Hillary Clinton has won the District of Columbia, Maryland, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Delaware, Rhode Island, and Vermont. Donald Trump has taken Mississippi, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Indiana, and Kentucky. If you're going by electoral votes right now, Hillary Clinton with 68, Donald Trump with 37. These are in early returns.
Wow.
I have the polls started to close at 7 o'clock in Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. And at 7:30, it's North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia. And at 8 p.m., the polls close in 16 states and the District of Columbia, including New Hampshire, Florida, and Pennsylvania, and also Jersey. And we're starting to get results in right away on that. It's kind of surprising, but so by 8 p.m., actually by 9 p.m., there's going to be almost 40 states that are closed. The polls will be closed by 9 p.m. So, but the big one is California. California doesn't close till 11, and there's 55 electoral votes in California.
Well, we also have some local races. Now, our local polls have all closed. No problems that we have heard of yet. And some of them may having to stay open late. Tell you one thing, most everybody knows in the area that went out to vote today, has to be a record turnout. The absentees and the early voting was one of the highest that our county clerk can ever recall, and one of the highest ever, I think, in Atlantic County, as far as Atlantic County goes.
And Don, in speaking to a bunch of people today and trading texts and everything, they said that turnout has been as heavy as they've ever seen it in Atlantic County. And also, from what I've been gathering from our news sources around the state, the entire state, there was a big turnout. It certainly wasn't the weather. Nobody can say the weather kept them away. So this is going to be an interesting evening, and not just on the local scene, but of course, in the presidential race.
Record turnout everywhere, from what I'm hearing. Long lines, people waiting in New York and elsewhere.
Yeah.
And, of course, in Ohio, part of the state has some rain. Now, whether that'll hold it down or not.
It's like I spoke to Dan Skelton about that, oddly enough, and the rain is light. It's not like a big soaker or anything. It's little showers, and that shouldn't keep anybody.
The voters seem really jazzed up, if you want to use that term. They're very enthusiastic, the Trump team, and also it looks like Hillary's people are out there, too. So I don't think a little rain on their parade would...
Everybody's banging the drum.
Yeah.
I spoke with Bruce Ellis today from Florida. He's in the Orlando area, and he said he voted early this year because in 2012 he waited 4 hours to vote. And ABC News at 6:30 or so said that more people early voted in Florida than voted in 2012.
Wow.
And there was 6.2 million people, and it's just incredible. But, Bruce said the polls are real busy again, and there's so many people moving into Florida, and that's why they have I was curious why they allow them to early vote. And it was simply because there's so many people that they don't want to be boxed up during the election day with people trying to vote.
Something like 3 million more people now in Florida than when they had the big tie and they were counting the hanging chads and all of that. 3 million more people there, and a good portion of them are Hispanic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right now in Florida...
Marco Rubio was reelected.
Was he really?
There's some good news for the Republicans. He held on. That was a pretty close race.
Yeah, that was one of the key races in the for the Senate, right?
That's going to be, everybody's got their eyes on the Senate, so very, very important.
Yeah.
In Florida right now, Hillary Clinton has taken a 49 to 48% lead. Right now, we're seeing Hillary Clinton with 3,863,000 votes, and Donald Trump with 3,819,000. That's close. I mean, we're talking about less than a full point.
And that's probably coming in early from the metropolitan areas, like maybe the Miami and Dade County or what, and up in the Panhandle, where it has come in, and changed the whole picture. Whether any of those votes are counted in on that, I don't know, but that's where Trump's strength is supposedly up into the real white districts and up in the Panhandle, and that has proven before whether he can make that up. And don't forget, we have a couple of questions on the ballot here in New Jersey, and there are a few elsewhere around the country. Marijuana's on in some places. Like
9 states.
9 states.
9 states. I believe 4 are for recreational use and 5 are for medical. Right now, there are 26 states that have either medical marijuana or recreational. So,
well, we have Nick Yuba from the Press online here. And Nick, good evening.
Good evening.
And what do you have for us, Nick?
I've just been monitoring the casino vote. We're still waiting for some early numbers to come in, but when we were out today, it seems like one of those things that, with the way Atlantic City is right now, people just don't want to expand gaming, and a lot of people who are against it have used Atlantic City's current struggles as the model in a lot of ways. So I think, that could, if it goes down really if it goes down to a huge defeat, maybe it could go away and not come back for another vote.
I don't know. You know what, Nick? It's David Spatz. One of my thoughts about that, having been around as long as I have in covering this and covering the casino industry.
He was there he was there for Lincoln's assassination.
Well, no. But I was there when they cut the ribbon. But in 1974, the first time they tried to get gambling, it was for the entire state, and each county could have decided on its own whether or not they wanted it, and it went down to a huge defeat. 2 years later, when they came back and they said Atlantic City only, it was a landslide victory. So I suspect that no matter how big this thing goes down tonight, and it probably will go down, I don't think the fight is. I think they'll be back.
Let me just jump in there for a minute. You know, I went up a couple of weeks ago and met with the head of the Meadowlands Chamber about this issue, just to talk about it from a North Jersey perspective. We cover everything from a South Jersey perspective. I thought it would be different to kind of go up there and talk to them about it. That they are legitimately concerned tonight that if it goes down by a large margin, it might not come back, because they wouldn't have the political capital with the new governor coming in next year to push this issue, in the next couple of years, to push this issue and get it back on the ballot. So there's a real concern that a 70-30 margin today might spell the end of it for a while.
You know what? I hope so. I really do, because and I don't generally take political stands on my shows. I just do the news. But this is the one time that I'm kind of breaking with protocol and saying that I have been saying all along, the last thing we need are 2 more casinos in North Jersey, because that would just absolutely devastate Atlantic City.
I think they missed, we talk about what's going to happen in Atlantic City, but I think the people who are in favor really missed. They could have really sold it a different way, and I think that's what's playing into this a little bit. People don't see the positive, like, redevelopment of the Meadowlands and things like that, and that's something they could have sold and maybe made this a tighter race and maybe gone back in 2 years and gone, we're going to try it again. But right now, it doesn't seem like there's an appetite for more gaming in this area, this state.
Probably not.
That's good.
Well, we'll be hearing from you again a little bit later, right?
I'm assuming yes. Might even be in later, so we'll see.
All right.
Thanks for checking in, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nick. Nick Huber from the Press of Atlantic City.
Trump just took Tennessee.
Yep. Yes, he did.
All right. Tennessee. All right. Early returns. Let's see what Jeff Katz has for us. Jeff, good evening.
Hey, how are you?
Well, you're calling in from Virginia, right? WRBA? Hello?
Are you there, Jeff?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. What's going on in Virginia?
Well, it is a very tight race down here between Trump and Clinton. 33% of the vote in, 52% for Trump, and 43% for Clinton. We're also watching right next door in North Carolina, where it's also a very, very, very close race. These are the 2 states that, in large part, are going to decide how the southeast portion of the United States goes.
Are there any bellwether districts in Virginia that give you a clue as to what's going to happen?
Well, I'm looking at the the real-time map. It is almost exclusively red, but the way that Virginia is set up, really, we've got a huge chunk of the population that's located right around D.C. in the northern Virginia suburbs. And that ring will go very, very heavily for Hillary Clinton, and it could outweigh really the entire rest of the states.
Wow.
And where are some of these results that you now have? Where have they come in from? Do you know?
They are throughout the state. I'm taking a look now. We have almost all of central Virginia in. We have southeastern Virginia in. There are still a couple of counties that are outstanding. And some of them, in fact, are up around the D.C. suburbs, Fairfax County, Arlington County. And, again, those are going to go very heavily for Hillary Clinton. But at the moment, with 34% of the vote in, Donald Trump is leading by close to 200,000 votes. And, again, he's got a 52 to 43% lead at this point.
You surprised at that?
Yeah. As recently as, 2.5, 3 weeks ago, the state, all the polls were showing that Hillary Clinton had a double-digit lead. One poll, in fact, showed her 17%, 17 points out in front. So, yeah, this is very, very surprising. Donald Trump has made it very, very competitive down here. There's a lot of people, I think, who were Trump supporters who were not really interested or willing to answer polls when pollsters called, and a lot of people who just frankly did not want to say out loud that they were voting for Donald Trump, and that may very well be the case around the country.
Jeff, is there a big difference between the coastal area of Virginia and the D.C. and the I guess the tone is what I want to ask?
Yeah, you have in those counties surrounding Washington, D.C., you have folks who work for the federal government. They have done very well economically during the last 8 years. There's been a lot of government jobs created in D.C. and the D.C. suburbs. And once you get out of that ring around the district, you've got a lot of economic factors that come into play. You have a lot of people that, frankly, are not happy with what they refer to as the Republic of Nova. That would be Northern Virginia. And they look at it in many ways two different states.
How about that? What about the military influence on the coast? Does that make which way does that tend to go?
The military vote down here is going to break for Donald Trump. Virginia is actually home to the largest number of retired military members, and it also has a very large active duty force as well. So it's definitely a factor. You also have, as I said, you have a lot of civil servants and military people up there in the D.C. suburbs, but throughout the entire state, you will find a lot of retired military people. And sometimes they came here, it was their last active duty station, and they just decided to stay.
I understand. Well, in 2012, Virginia was 50.8% for Obama and 47.8% for Romney. Do you think that's going to be much different this year?
Well, I think it's going to be about as close to a 50-50 split as you can get. And again, that would indicate that Trump has closed the gap here over the last 2 weeks or so to a great extent. Again, just a couple of weeks ago, the polls showed Hillary Clinton with double-digit leads in Virginia. So the fact that it is as competitive as it is, and we're now about 90 minutes after the polls closed here, it says it could very well be a late night.
How about that?
What are you looking for? What would be the telltale? Something up in the mountains or what? What coming in? Would that be Republican territory, Trump territory up in the West?
Yeah, I got to tell you, you could look at a map of Virginia, and you could, if we want to use the red and the blue, you could color the vast majority of it in red, and you'll have a couple of blue pockets, as I said, the suburbs right around D.C. You'll have some spots like the city of Richmond is a very strong Democratic Party stronghold. You have some other independent cities, and you do have some stuff along the coast, Norfolk and Newport News, that have a tendency to go Democrat.
Jeff, we appreciate you checking in with us tonight, and thanks for your update for Virginia. And, we're all anticipating what's going to happen and whether it's going to be an early or late night. So you hang in there, Jeff.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, thanks.
Coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning.
At Elliott McElwee, your comfort is our business. Hi, I'm Gary McElwee. Elliott McElwee has been installing quality heating and air conditioning systems to thousands of homes since 1980. Elliott McElwee recommends the Bryant line of heating and air conditioning equipment for all your comfort needs. Bryant's product offering includes the fully communicating Evolution system with remote access to monitor and adjust your home's temperature. We can provide various solutions for your home comfort needs, from our multi-stage gas furnaces and air conditioners to the Bryant Coast Guard series for enhanced tough coat coil protection in corrosive coastal areas. At Elliott McElwee, we service what we sell. Our fleet of well-stocked service trucks and well-trained technicians are ready to provide our customers with prompt, courteous service to get your system back up and running in case of an emergency. Give us a call today at 641-1888. And remember, at Elliott McElwee, Your comfort is our business.
Helping to bring tonight's coverage, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet at 200 Tilton Road, Kensington Square in Northfield. Remember to save loot, shop at the Boot. They will beat or match any competitor's advertised price or coupon. Be sure to check out their excellent selection of organic wines and gluten-free beers in stock. Bootleggers is open 7 days a week from 9 in the morning till 10 p.m. You'll also find New Jersey lottery tickets there, as well as some snacks to take home with your beverages. Leaves are falling, and so are the prices at Bootleggers, New Jersey's discount price leader. Check out their website, bootleggersliquors.com. Great selection. Phone 609-484-WINE. That's 609-484-9463. Bootleggers, Tilton Road, Northfield, in the Kensington Square. Wines and champagnes, along with a full line of craft beers. Look for their ad in the Current and the Beachcomber newspapers. Remember, save some loot, shop the Boot.
Glenn Insurance wants to remind you that hurricane season is here. Here's a helpful tip to keep your family, home, and business safe from a major storm. Board up windows and doors to reduce damage to your property. Inspect and repair roofs before a storm, and secure outdoor furniture, planters, and other outside items so they won't get caught in high winds and create further harm. For any type of insurance, think Glenn. Glenn Insurance, a true community partner for over 100 years. In Absecon and Vineland and online at glenninsurance.com.
Winter months are coming, and the struggle is real in Atlantic and surrounding counties. Please join Haven Beat the Streets in helping our community's homeless become housed again and working poor stay housed. Remember, Haven is just one letter away from heaven. Haven takes time to help people who are struggling. Haven has helped over 500 families and individuals in the last 2 years with emergency temporary housing, utilities, food assistance, rental assistance, and homeless prevention services. Haven is a nonprofit organization that has helped people get their shattered lives restored. Join Haven Beat the Streets to continue to help our community. Haven reminds you to love your neighbors as yourselves. Your help and support can go a long way. Jesus prayed, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." To learn more, please visit their website at havenstreets.org or call 609-513-9327.
Hello, this is Bill Southry, president of Haven. Help us help the poor. Thank you.
That website again is havenstreets.org.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
What do you think, Spatz? You got some results in?
I have some partial results.
Yeah?
In Florida, once again, it's going to flip-flop all night. Right now, Donald Trump holds a 1 percentage point lead, but there are only about 15,000 votes out of 8 million cast, over 8 million cast, 15,000 votes separating them. We'll move down the list right now. Early returns from Michigan show Hillary Clinton with a 51 to 44 lead. Those are percentage points. New Hampshire, Hillary Clinton 53, Donald Trump 42. North Carolina, Hillary Clinton 51, Donald Trump 46. Ohio, Clinton 51, Trump 45. Pennsylvania, Clinton 81, Trump 18. But again, we're talking about less than 1,400 votes cast right now or tabulated right now.
They probably came in from Philadelphia or maybe Pittsburgh.
Yeah, hard to say where they're from. But those are what we have so far on the presidential race. If you're counting electoral votes, right now Hillary Clinton with 68 and Donald Trump with 66.
How about that? Huh?
Yeah.
Pretty close, huh, Don?
Yeah, and there's other things on the ballot here locally. We mentioned Linwood, of course, whether or not to have an elected school board. Right now it's a chosen one by the administration.
Yep.
And Ventnor, there's liquor on the ballot.
Yeah, they put liquor in restaurants.
Well,
what a modern thought.
Yeah. Well, they tried it 40 years ago. They had a referendum 40
years ago.
And it went down in flames.
Wow.
But,
the restaurant or the...
No. The vote went down in flames. But now there seems to be... Well, Ventnor's restaurants have kind of stepped up their game.
Yeah.
And now it seems almost silly. You've got liquor stores in Ventnor.
Yeah.
why can't you sell a drink in a restaurant?
Yeah.
Right, especially if you have bring your own bottle in, and that would
that would put an end to that, because I don't think restaurants that sell adult beverages would let you bring your own to their restaurant. Right.
Got another referendum in Atlantic City for the school vouchers too.
Yeah.
That is a big issue. A lot of eyes will be on that to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be breaking for ABC. Let's see what they have for us, and then we'll be right back here on the local scene.
Live and local radio you can depend on for accurate news and stimulating talk. News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey's news talk leader.
Your voice, your vote. So far, ABC News is projecting wins for Hillary Clinton in Illinois, Delaware, Rhode Island, Maryland, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., and Vermont. Donald Trump wins, projected by ABC News, are coming in Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma. Trump complaining about a lack of support from the Republican establishment.
For the first time tonight, we are hearing frustration from Donald Trump in an interview tonight over the radio on Lindsey Graham not voting for him. Senator Lindsey Graham, he says it's just absolutely insane. And rather than manning up, he goes and he does a thing like that. I think it's terrible. On George W. Bush not voting for him, he says, well, I think it's sad. I think it's sad. Donald Trump can't be surprised. He put Lindsey Graham's cell phone number out in front of a microphone, and the entire America had it. And with George W. Bush, he savaged him on the war in Iraq, and he destroyed his brother, constantly made fun of his brother and his family.
ABC's Tom Yamas. ABC News projecting wins for the Republicans in Senate races in Florida and Indiana. Richard Cantu, ABC News.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your host, Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
Yes, along, we're just going to say that. Along with Bob Burns and David Spatz, the news director, and of course, I know a lot of people are waiting to see how those questions turned out here in South Jersey.
Yeah, we still don't. It's interesting. New Jersey is very slow with election returns on a statewide basis. Always has been.
I'm stunned to hear you say that.
Well, I'm just going to say what's on my mind when what everybody knows.
And
we have not received anything. We don't know anything about. I've been getting texts. That's why. Don't know anything about the casino referendum in North Jersey, and don't know anything about the question about the gas tax.
And which is very interesting. And we will be hearing from McMillan. Jim McMillan's down in Cape May, a very important race down there. They might elect a new mayor, and there's some freeholders.
Or they may re-elect Mayor Ed Mahoney, or they may choose a political newcomer. He's a retired Cape May City Police Lieutenant, 37 years on the department, Chuck Lear. That's a very close. It's interesting. It's a very, very tight race and a very divisive campaign in a city that only has 3,000 people. And I wouldn't even want to guess how many actual registered voters there are.
Well, right. I'm surprised. I thought everybody got along down in Cape May. I thought everybody made nice. I was surprised to see how it was a pretty tough race.
Yeah,
they got pretty nasty at times. Bob, you got something for us over there?
I just want to go over the freeholder candidates in Atlantic County. You have Gatto from Hamilton Township and Brathwaite from Egg Harbor Township. They're running for at-large seats. And then there's Stokes and Days. They're running for, I think it's District 4 seats, which is Galloway and all that stuff on the western...
And Brigantine.
And Brigantine, that's right. Yeah. But what's unfortunate is these guys acted like they were trying to keep it a secret that they were running.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Very little publicity.
Yeah, and Cape May County has Hayes running against a longtime freeholder Thornton, and I think these two guys are new. Annenhauser and Kurkowski, huh? Kurkowski. He's from Dennis Township. Okay, that's Jeff Andrews' hometown, huh? So those are the guys running in Cape May County. And in Cumberland County, it's Sorensi and Barber and Sparaccio and Shepherd. And that's supposed to be a pretty heated race. I talked to some people in Cumberland County a couple days ago, and it was there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things being thrown around. And, of course, there's Absecon, Armstrong, and Phillips. Armstrong is I think one or two terms as mayor of Absecon. It's always strange because the mayor of Absecon is always a Democrat and everybody else is a Republican. It's tough to figure that out, how that works. But and then of course we talked about Mahoney and Lear, but the big race in Vineland, the sitting mayor was Bermudez, and he didn't get his petition in time, and they had to go to the court to get him put on the ballot. But it's Romano, Fanucci, and Bermudez are running for mayor in Vineland, and that's always a hot race.
We'll be hearing from Vineland. We have a man there in Vineland. Dan is out there, right? And we'll be hearing from him from Lobiondo's headquarters.
I think it's Ed Kasuba's.
Ed Kasuba, that's right.
Yeah, Ed Kasuba.
And Dan is over at the Republican headquarters here.
Dan Klein.
Dan Klein.
Yeah.
Primetime Dan Klein. Yeah.
Primetime with Dan Klein has moved to, where is that? Is that at the Linwood Country Club?
No, that's the Democrats.
The Democrats went there? How about that?
Yeah, the Republicans are at the McCullough's Emerald Links.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, McCullough's Emerald Links.
They moved, and you said they can't say those country club Republicans now. It's the country club Democrats.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
And the liberals got their limousines out there, too.
You know, one of the local races that I'm interested in, only because I come from 5 Mile Beach, which is the Wildwoods, is the city of North Wildwood is having a non-binding referendum.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
Well, there is a group that wants to change the name of North Wildwood back to what it was prior to 1908, which is Anglesey. North Wildwood Anglesey was incorporated as a borough in 1888, and in 1908, I guess kind of to follow along with Wildwood, they decided they were better off calling themselves North Wildwood, and it's been North Wildwood for 108 years.
Yeah.
But now there are some people who want to go back to Anglesey. I suspect because Wildwood has a reputation for being a real crazy town, wild and crazy town, and North Wildwood is a little bit more sedate. You know,
I think 100% more sedate.
Well, I wouldn't say 100%, and I'm saying that of respect for my friend who's the mayor of Wildwood, Ernie Triano.
Yeah.
But it's a non-binding referendum. The city is certainly not going to say, "Oh, okay, if it passes, we're gonna change the name." But they want to find out if there is legitimate interest in changing the name. I mean, personally, I think it's a mistake because you want to brand the island as the Wildwoods.
Yeah,
you can't call it the Wildwoods and Anglesey.
No, it doesn't
make sense. No,
it doesn't work.
Does Anglesey give it a little more class? Is that what they're looking for?
Well, some say it does. Anglesey sounds cooler,
Oh, yeah.
Anglesey as opposed to North Wildwood.
What does Anglesey mean? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, Dave, you want to jump in here? I forget why. Because it angles.
Just a small percentage, and Chuck Lear is winning.
Chuck Lear is winning in Cape May. Do we have numbers, or just we don't have any numbers right now? We do know that Chuck Lear is ahead. He is a political rookie.
Yeah.
Never run for office before. 37 years on the police department there, and he is taking on.
A powerhouse.
Ed Mahoney is a very powerful leader down there. So it should be interesting how that unfolds.
Yeah.
And we have quite an interesting election going on my island of Brigantine.
Ooh.
There's 4 council seats up, and they're going to be very, very interesting to say the least. Because we have a couple of incumbents running, and on each side there, 4 Ward 1, 2, a 3rd, and the 4th Ward. And that's been hotly contested over there in the local papers and to some degree over the airways here. So,
are they regularly up? Is there 4 seats up on a regular basis every couple of years?
Yeah, I believe so. There's nobody serving out an unexpired term.
Okay.
To my,
there's 9 people on council. Is that what there is?
Yes.
Huh.
I didn't count them last time, but you're pretty close there. There's 4 seats up right now, and of course, then they will determine who the mayor will be, and hopefully it'll still be Phil Gunter.
ABC projects the Republicans will retain control of the House. They've included in their calculations several seats in a later poll closing times, which are their analysis believe will not affect the outcome.
Well, that was expected. They would, but the Senate, that's a whole new ballgame. And Republicans are sweating that out.
What's the Senate? What's the number now? Do you know off the top of your head? What is it, 62 to something?
There's about a 10-seat difference.
A 10-seat difference?
50 to 40-something.
Okay.
About 10. And no, but however, whatever happens this time around, 2 years from now, the Dems have most of their people up.
Ah, okay.
And they'll be sweating it out, holding on. I think it's like 25 seats.
Wow.
So if the Republicans don't, hold on, if they got a shot with a midterm at some 25 seats, it'll be up.
That sounds pretty nasty.
Well, it depends what happens between the next administration. If people want to try to hold on to something, well, we'll soon find out.
Well, here's something that really surprises me, and I shouldn't be surprised by it. In Atlantic County, registered voters, 33% are registered Democrats. 26% are registered Republicans. Of course, 42% are non-aligned. I thought it would be, the way the votes go in Atlantic County, I thought it would be higher registered Republicans. But I would imagine that a large portion of the unaffiliated vote Republican way is what I can see.
Some of the unaffiliated, there's a difference. There are less unaffiliated this time around by, I think, close to 1,000. And it looks like some of them did go to the Democrats.
Uh-huh.
By the way, there's, let's see if I get my numbers right here. Let's see, for the unaffiliated total, there's 73,813.
Okay.
Republicans, you have 44,308. Democrats, 56,766 a total.
Yeah.
How about that? But again, the unaffiliated, and that's the way it's been, Bob. You know that
that's the biggest vote.
The unaffiliated.
Yeah.
And everybody battles to try and get them over.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing, there's a lot of them that don't even pay attention until 2 weeks before the election.
That's true.
And a lot of people work really hard to get elected and try to do all the right stuff, and a lot of that falls on deaf ears, but... they have to work hard at it. Yeah,
Anything happening in Egg Harbor Township?
Oh, we have two candidates. We have Murray Blum, who's running against Joe. He's the incumbent, and I don't know. He kept it a secret that he was running. I don't think I heard him on the air anywhere. But the Republican will win that hands down.
That's the largest township, registration-wise and population-wise. What is it, 40-some thousand?
45,000 residents.
I wonder if that's still a true figure, because a lot of people have thrown in their keys and moved out.
That's true. But the other side of it is, in 1969, there were 7,000 people that lived in Egg Harbor Township.
And how many chickens?
A lot of chickens.
A lot of chickens.
A lot of chickens. Yeah.
Well,
right there on English Creek Road.
Time to worry is when there's no chickens, but there might be a few goats.
Yeah, that's it.
In Galloway, there's some goats out there, and some sheep too. Out in the rural section. I saw there was a farm out there or whatever, and a lady had some goats. Don't let it get your goat now.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we need is more goats. But now Egg Harbor Township has really, really, really blossomed and grown over the last few years, and. Now we're one of the largest by population in Atlantic County, and we probably are the largest by population.
And the largest registration, too.
Yeah. But they were Republican.
Is he the mayor for life?
I think so. Hillary Clinton wins Rhode Island, but I guess we knew that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, he's been on the township committee, I think, for 32 years, and he was mayor 28 of those years. So.
And you don't run as mayor, right?
No.
The committee people, after the election, they choose who they want to be mayor.
All you need to count to is 3.
And they picked you one time.
Yes, they did. Twice, actually. Twice. It was a scary time.
Did you have to give them a few tires or anything like that to get those votes?
I threatened people. I just threatened them. No, we worked real hard to get elected, and I was fortunate they chose me to be the mayor the first year. And in the second year, it was going to be Bruce Pesco. But unfortunately, Bruce's wife was ill at the time, and he didn't have the time to spend as mayor, so he was deputy mayor, and I got to have 2 years as mayor, which was pretty cool.
Well, I've heard it, but I think maybe the audience hasn't heard. But what did you say? You would never run again?
I'd rather light my face on fire and put out with an ice pick. I had the time of my life. It was something I wanted to do since I was a kid, but been there, done that, don't need to do it again.
You're listening to election coverage. We'll be having more for you. And right now, let's go to, let's see,
Christian Hedrick of the Press.
Christian Hedrick, who does a great job, by the way. Enjoy his columns. Chris, good evening.
Hey, how are you guys?
Well, we're hanging in there.
Yeah, no, us too. We're trying to put this all together, but obviously it's still a little early for a lot of these races. I know Nick Cuba called earlier and really didn't have much news on the North Jersey casino. Since then, we can just say that that it is down by substantial margins in Mercer, Monmouth, and Cumberland counties. When I say down, I mean that that people are opposed to the North Jersey casino referendum. But we still don't have any numbers in really our local areas, Atlantic and Cape May. Those numbers have not been published yet online.
I can't imagine. Christian is David Spatz. I can't imagine that the numbers down in Atlantic County are going to be any different than Mercer, Monmouth, or Cumberland. If anything, they'll probably be even more against the
right.
expansion.
And of course, Monmouth was one that people, if you did fear that the North Jersey casino referendum would pass, Monmouth County is one of those, I guess you could call it a swing county, just because like Atlantic City, the horse racing industry had some money earmarked toward it from the potential North Jersey casinos. And
right.
Obviously with Monmouth County having a horse racing industry there, some people thought maybe Monmouth would go along with it, even though it would be unlikely or impossible, I guess, to even get a casino there. But again, it is down by a pretty substantial margin. I'm hearing from Nicholas Cuba. And again, down in Mercer as well, which is important because obviously, we're expecting South Jersey to vote no, but any northern counties voting no too is probably a good sign for people not wanting to see Atlantic City lose their gambling monopoly.
And it probably looks like it might come out close to the latest polls and be at such an overwhelming defeat that it may not pop its head up again, right?
Yeah, well, from people I've spoken with, they think if you beat this thing by 20 points or more, it'll be very difficult to come back 2 years and do this and try and put it on the ballot again because obviously the public would have spoken pretty loudly and substantially that they weren't interested in this thing. So yeah, if you beat it good, you may be able to beat it for good.
Well, based on the Stockton University poll that came out Friday, it was 71% against and 25% for. Now, if it's even close to that, I mean, that's a pretty resounding statement.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, just want to give you a few other numbers. Again, we don't really have much because it is still early. In the presidential race, they have already called New Jersey for Hillary Clinton, which is to be expected since it hasn't really been a swing state since 1992. But locally, we do have two municipalities. Donald Trump was leading Clinton in Longport 254 to 137, and he was leading Clinton in Margate 1480 to 1332. And then one other, it's in Cumberland County overall. This was a little bit earlier, so the numbers may have been updated since then. But Clinton was winning in Cumberland County 1,045 to 836. But, of course, again, these are all very early numbers since polls were just recently closed, and they're still in the early stages of counting votes.
Christian, we thank you very much, and of course, just give us a ring again when you have anything new.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. I'll talk to you soon.
Please do. Christian Hedrick, and you can read his column in the Press of Atlantic City.
Yeah, Christian's been covering a lot of the Atlantic City stories.
And there have been a lot, haven't there?
It kind of divides himself between covering the casino industry and covering the city itself and the slight financial problems.
All right, here's the stuff for the. Here's the numbers. Oh, it's 1% reporting. That doesn't seem right. But anyway, it's 20% voted yes, 80% voted no for permits casinos in additional counties. It's 6,651 votes to 26,988 votes. And question 2, I'm glad this is close anyway, 51% are saying yes, that's 29,149 votes, and 49% said no, which was 27,843 votes. So that's
interesting.
Based on the Stockton poll last week, 63% were voting in favor
Of question 2?
Of question 2, and 33% were voting against it. So,
well, we've been banging the drum here for sure.
Yeah, we have.
And they have elsewhere, too.
Yeah.
I mean, up in North Jersey, all of a sudden, the lieutenant governor and some others up there, I forget the name of the senator, and also a couple of the assembly people have been saying, whoa, the fine print in this thing that they passed, where they can, increase that tax. Well, they can go up to 30-some cents. Okay,
35 additional cents.
35, yeah. But at this point, I would not invite Governor Christie and his Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno to the same dinner party.
No, I don't think that would work.
I don't think that would work. No.
Well, you had a nice interview with the Lieutenant Governor the other day. That was nice that she called.
Yeah, bingo. Well, we were discussing it, and I took issue. A man said, that they can increase that tax. I said, no, they can't. He said, yes, they can. So somebody might all of a sudden the phone rang, and
there's the Lieutenant Governor.
Somebody.
Well, it's interesting because when you were talking to her, she said that in the beginning she was like everybody else, thinking, I'll vote yes. I'll put it in the lockbox and be done with it. And then she read beyond the interpretive statement. She read the actual legislation.
All 55 pages.
And she went flag on the play.
Bob, you read when there's some 50 pages.
55 pages, yeah.
But they tried to sneak that one in. Plus, the state can borrow several $1 billion.
$12 billion.
12 million?
Yeah.
12 billion.
12 billion.
Yeah.
And for all kinds of mischief, maybe.
Well, I thought it was cool when she said to you that they wrote the lockbox legislation in January. And then October 14th is when they put all the other stuff in there as the surprise. I guess that was their October surprise, right?
Well, it would be probably because of a lot of people probably didn't, get the message. They're going to vote yes. As they usually do in a lot of these referendum, they just go down and vote yes. Bing, bing,
Well,
bing.
that was the one that was last year, right, with the thing at the courthouse.
Yeah, now all of a sudden, bingo, we're finding out how expensive proposition that is. Denny, our county executive, is having hissy fits.
Yeah.
And pretty soon the taxpayers will when we wake up to what it's going to cost us.
Yeah, another couple $1 million a year,
Right.
But you know what they say, what's a million here, a million there, right?
Pretty soon, $1 million here, $1 million there, pretty soon you're talking real money.
Talking serious dollars, yeah.
Well, if you want to think of that, think of the debt of this nation right now and how many trillions of dollars each day we go further into debt.
We have results in from Atlantic County for the 2nd District House of Representatives seat that is currently held by Congressman Frank Lobiondo. He is leading his challenger, David Cole, by 58 to 37. If you want actual number of votes, 11,998 votes for Congressman Lobiondo, 7,729 votes for David Cole, the Democrat.
I thought it would be at least 60%. I'm surprised. David Cole.
The night's not over yet.
28 out of 151
you know what it was?
Precincts reporting.
It was those 8 ads on the Don Williams show. That's how Cole got some votes.
And by the way, he did vote for Donald Trump.
Congressman Lobiondo.
Yeah.
Here's some more.
Kansas, Trump. New York, Clinton. North Dakota, Trump. South Dakota, Trump. Wyoming, Trump.
Well, we're getting from the West.
Yeah, that's pretty far out.
The Cowboys and Cowgirls are coming in.
Okay, county clerk in Atlantic County, McGettigan 52%, Rosenberg 47%.
Wow,
that's close.
10,433 votes to 9,390 votes. There were 3 write-in votes. They didn't know who they are. 28 precincts out of 151 reporting. That's about 18.5%.
Atlantic City's vote is probably not in there. It usually is until last.
Oh, they like to wait.
Atlantic City that's the one that goes heavy Democrat.
Atlantic City and Pleasantville. So I was looking at these at the numbers, the contributions that were made. You were somebody talked to you a lot about the Brigantine.
People getting on me. We evidently have some very wealthy Democrats over in Brigantine.
In Pleasantville, $2,900 went to Clinton and $136 went to Trump.
Find out.
You think they lean toward
They're
Democrat?
searching for that person that gave the 136.
Who is that guy?
2 or 3.
Who did that?
For the freeholder at large seat in Atlantic County, Gatto with 54.8%, Brathwaite 45, percent. 10,718 for Gatto, 8,831 for Brathwaite.
I think we'll take a break and be right back. Maybe we have a word from our participating benefactors here.
Here's Atlantic County.
Coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning.
Well, no matter who wins tonight, gold's a good investment. Buying gold or silver? Stop by the Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, 645-1031 if you want to give them a call. That's 609-645-1031. Gold, silver, coins, jewelry, Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. Call them for their current prices, or better yet, stop in and see them. In stock, silver eagles, maples, pandas, silver bars, and rounds. By the way, they also have White's metal detectors. And if you're selling your collectible or your gold or your silver, if you need to raise some cash, check with others, but make sure you check with Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. You, like thousands of others, will be glad you did. 3 locations actually to serve you, 6692 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, where they are open 7 days a week. And on Saturdays from 10 until 5, you'll find Doug Keefe himself, the manager, right there in Brigantine at 13th and Brigantine Avenue. Tuesdays from 10 until 3 in the old bank building between the White Horse and New Jersey Avenue, and they're there 10 to 3 on Tuesdays. But 7 days a week, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township. Phone number 609-645-1031. Buying gold and silver or selling gold and silver or other collectibles, it's Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles.
Thomas Heist is here to earn your trust. We're confident you'll benefit from us. Our focus is on people for business and family. You'll like the way we do business. Thomas Heist Insurance Agency.
I'd love to tell you one insurance company can do it all, but unfortunately they can't. As an independent agency, we represent over 40 insurance companies, so you can save time and money by letting us find a policy that works for you. I'm Tom Heist, and you'll like the way we do business.
You'll like the way we do business. Thomas Heist Insurance Agency.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I liked them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio. ZipRecruiter.com/ABC Radio.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
And let's go right to David Spatz.
Don, we have the first results from the referendum in Ventnor that would allow for 3 restaurants to have liquor licenses. Right now, it's about 53% yes, 47% no, with about 40% of the vote also in the presidential election in Atlantic County. Donald Trump with 49%, Hillary Clinton with 47%. Bob?
We have this is just Atlantic County House of Representatives. Lobiondo has 58.4%, Cole 37.6%, and that's 18% of the district's reporting. Board of Chosen Freeholders, Stokes, the Democrat, 52%, and Days 47.9%, and that is 20% of the districts reporting. Question number 2 is fallen. This is Atlantic County, 51% against no for question 2, 48 yes. And question number 1 is casino gaming. 94.8% voted no in Atlantic County. 5% voted yes.
We have to take a real quick timeout, check in with our partners at ABC News. We'll be back with more on the local scene right here on News Talk 1400 WOND.
Live and local radio you can depend on. News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey's news talk leader. Download the free TuneIn radio app and listen.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. More polling places closing this election night 2016. ABC News projecting wins for Hillary Clinton in New York, Vermont, Washington, D.C., Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Illinois. Trump, according to ABC News projections, will win in Texas, Nebraska, Kansas, the Dakotas, Wyoming, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama. Both the candidates are taking in the returns in New York City. ABC's Sherry Preston with the Clinton campaign.
The anticipation has been building here in this cavernous convention hall all afternoon and evening. The stage is lined with dozens of American flags. Night one of the Democratic National Convention, you might remember, the party was criticized for having no American flags on stage. They've made up for it tonight. As the results come in, the crowd cheers most of the time. People starting to fill up the space on the floor in front of the podium. With the Clinton campaign, Sherry Preston, ABC News at the Javits Center, New York.
ABC's Mark Remillard at a hotel in Manhattan where Trump is expected to speak tonight.
We really don't know what he's going to say tonight. Should he win? Obviously, he's already said that he'll accept the results if he wins. Now, if he loses, it'll be interesting to watch. Whether or not it's a close race or not a close race, that may determine what he does. We don't even know if he's going to use a teleprompter, which we've seen him use more often and more frequently.
ABC News projects the House of Representatives will remain under GOP leadership. Also projected a U.S. Senate win by Democrat Tammy Duckworth in Illinois and wins by Republicans in Florida and in Indiana. In Azusa, California, someone started shooting in a residential area. At least one person's been killed and 2 wounded. Stephen Hunt is acting Azusa police chief.
We believe that the suspect was armed with an assault rifle with a rapid fire capability, whether it's fully automatic or semi-automatic, we don't know at this time.
It's believed the shooter is barricaded. A nearby polling place has been relocated. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in personal or business taxes and you can't afford to pay? You have the right to tax representation. Join satisfied clients like Victoria. She owed the IRS $32,000. They accepted $300. She saved $31,700. Leroy owed $21,000. The IRS accepted $500 and he saved $20,500. Get tax representation and save too. Call 800-556-7089. Has the IRS threatened to shut down your business, freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, or garnish your wages? You may qualify for special programs to stop this process. Get tax representation. The industry experts with negotiating with the IRS with an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call today and the IRS will be contacted the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-556-7089. 800-556-7089. That's 800-556-7089.
Hey, American Express card members, you don't want to miss this. Now through December 31st, there's a big reason for you to shop small at local stores in your neighborhood. Learn more and enroll your eligible card today at americanexpress.com/shop-small-offer. Terms
News
apply.
Talk 1400, WOND.
From the studios of Green Broadcast Plaza in Linwood, News Talk 1400 WOND welcomes you to Decision 2016 Election Night coverage. Your complete source for the results of tonight's presidential election, as well as the outcome of races in our immediate area. Tonight's exclusive broadcast is made possible by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning. Now from WOND's Election Night headquarters, here are your hosts, Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
Yes, the three. Three of us. And let's go right over to Bob Burns. He's got some more info and numbers.
What do I hear you say? You're throwing water on my head and telling me it's raining? Is that what you say? That's what you clean that up a little bit, right?
Yeah, that does clean it up a little bit if you know how that goes. A lot of politicians love to do that.
Oh, they're good at it, too, yeah.
Well, you were a politician once.
I was good at it, too. I was real good at it.
We got some numbers for us
Actually,
there.
I was afraid to lie because I know my old man would strike me dead with lightning.
And I knew your dad. He was a big man.
Yeah, he took no prisoners.
No,
State referendum question number 2 dedicates all revenue from oil taxes and gas to transportation trust fund, plus allows them to do all kinds of nasty stuff. This is statewide. 47% say yes, 53% said no.
Whoa.
So we're looking at 235 districts out of 6,669. But you know what? It's a start.
We call those early returns?
Early returns, yes. Somebody's going around calling, because the State Department can't figure out how to do that. Somebody's calling all the different counties. And the other question, permits casino gaming in 2 additional counties. I think this duck is dead.
How dead?
I think this horse has had its last knee. 19% say yes, 81% say no. So
that's statewide.
That's
statewide.
That's 100%. There's no
statewide.
There's no room for wiggle.
When they're losing up in Monmouth County and that other county where there is some horses and what have you, that's
horses.
Statewide.
On the presidential race, on the national scale, if you're going by electoral college votes, right now Trump has 123, Hillary Clinton with 97.
Uh-oh.
That's as of 9:05 p.m.
9:05 p.m. Huh?
That's just now, yes.
How about that?
But we haven't heard from North Carolina or Florida or Ohio
right
yet, right?
now, North Carolina, let me get that here, it's tied. Trump and Clinton are tied. They each have 1.58 million votes in North Carolina.
They got a governor's race there and a senator's race. That governor, the bathroom issue, etc.
Early returns from Michigan, Clinton with 49%, Trump with 46%. But again, it's just early returns. Where is Florida? Florida right now, still one point separating Trump and Clinton.
Well, we go to Dan Klein. He is at the Republican headquarters. Dan, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Don, and thanks to you guys over there. Great information we're getting here. Listen, I'm here at McCullough's Emerald Golf Links. I have Amy Gatto, who's one of the freeholder candidates. I also have freeholder chairman Frank Formica here. Amy's got a commanding lead, and of course, as you guys have been noting, some of the Democratic cities, Atlantic City, Pleasantville, yet to come in. But she's got a pretty good lead at 19,000. Now, our results here, just so you guys know, we're getting real-time results a little bit ahead than what you guys have there. We're showing Paul Rosenberg up right now by 893 votes. But anyway, let me turn you over to Amy Gatto, and then Frank Formica is going to make a comment as well. Here we go.
Hello, Don.
Hello. Good evening. Congratulations so far.
Very good information so far. Very exciting night in Atlantic County, and anxiously awaiting the rest of the results to come in.
Are you concerned? Are you comfortable with that lead? With, of course, Pleasantville, you tell me, or Dan told us, Pleasantville nor Atlantic City have come in yet, have they?
Yeah, certainly. I'm never comfortable during an election. We can never take anything for granted, and we got to wait till every ballot is counted. But I'm certainly happy to see the results that are coming in and to see the faith that the residents so far have bestowed upon me in the votes that they've offered. So I'm looking forward to those kind of results coming in across the rest of the county. We've worked really hard over the last 9 months. We've been to every town numerous times over and over again, making touch with every single voter. And then, September I became freeholder at large, taking Will Paul's seat, and had the opportunity to just get out there and meet even more and actually start doing some work with the freeholder board. So I'm just really excited. It's been a really long but strong campaign. I'm excited to see my running mate, Paul Rosenberg, up by his margin right now, and hoping that continues to grow as we move along here. So it's just a really, really exciting night in Atlantic County.
Thank you, and good luck to you. Good luck.
Thank you. I'm gonna turn you back over now to Freeholder Chairman, Mr. Frank Formica.
All right. Good evening, Frank.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Don. How are you?
I'm fine. How's the bread man?
Waiting for the dough to rise, so I decided I'd come over here to our little gathering.
All right. What's it look like to you, Frank, from what you're seeing the numbers come in, and you've seen this for many, many years. It's a little too early to get too excited yet, isn't it?
Absolutely. I just counted the board, and there still are 11 municipalities not reported. The early results are encouraging, but of course, as you know, who have witnessed this for longer than me, maybe, Atlantic City and Pleasantville are going to weigh heavy. So, Rich Days is in a fight. Amy has got a comfortable lead. Paul's doing well right in Rosenberg, but it's way too early to count the chickens.
And I imagine there was a pretty good turnout in Atlantic City and Pleasantville with Hillary running. They'll probably have a pretty heavy vote if it's like the rest of the county and elsewhere in the country. People were really turning out.
Yeah, I can just tell you from my own experience, my polling place, which is in Atlantic City, normally you walk in, you wonder if they're open. There was a line today. So something definitely is electric and energetic in this particular election, and I do believe that it's both parties coming out this time. I think if you can say anything you want about Trump, like, dislike, hate, or whatever, he did energize people to come out and vote. That's what our system's all about, and in a couple hours, the people will speak, and then we will take what they've given us.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again in the very near future.
All right, Don, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ballot just took Arkansas.
Hello, Don.
And hello, Dan, who's this?
Yeah, hey, Don, no, it's just Dan Klein. Just letting you know, we got a lot of, this is the Atlantic County Republicans have met here. We'll keep you posted as things develop here. We got a lot of folks that are on the ballot that are here and accessible to us, so we'll keep you
Please do.
Bring them on as things develop.
Please do. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. We understand Trump just took Arkansas. And that's he's been declared the winner there, but I don't know whether I think he was counting on that.
We can actually call one race here.
Yeah,
we have final results from the borough of Woodbine.
Bob's been waiting for this one.
Bob's, I know, Bob's been waiting for this one. Woodbine Borough Council.
Okay.
Edward Ortiz has defeated Mary Helen Perez.
Oh my gosh!
430 votes to 411 votes. That's with 100%.
A barn burner.
A barn burner. That's with 100% of the votes in.
Any recounts?
We don't know that yet.
Probably
Don.
5, yeah.
In the Cape May County, in one of the Cape May County freeholder races, freeholder director Gerald Thornton is leading Marie Hayes, let me see, by 30% to 28%.
Wow.
But early returns, it's 26 out of 127 districts are reporting.
Well, I have. Let me see. This is Cape May County. Question 2 on the ballot. Question number 2 about the Transportation Trust Fund. They voted yes, 57%, and no, 42%. They weren't listening to the right radio station, Doc. And question number 1. This is Cape May County again. It looks like it's 12.2% yes and 87.8% no. And this is a presidential in Cape May. Clinton with 38.32%, Trump 57.96%, and Johnson 1.56%. That's Cape May alone. 26 of 127 districts reporting. And House of Representatives, Lobiondo 67.52%, Cole 29.35%. I'm telling you, Don, it was the ads on your show.
We've also got another final in, and this is a little bit bigger than Woodbine Borough Council. This is the question about vintner liquor licenses in 3 restaurants. That has been approved.
Wow.
By 57% to 42%, almost 43%.
Wow.
2,098 votes yes, 1,570 votes no, and that's with 100% of the vote counted.
How about that, huh?
Atlantic County Clerk with 70% of the votes counted. Ed McGinnigan with 53.4%, and Paul Rosenberg 46.5%. 39,914 votes for McGettigan, 34,740 votes for Paul Rosenberg.
And that's probably without Atlantic City yet.
Atlantic
That's
City or Pleasantville.
Yeah, 70%, 107 out of 151 districts reporting.
Yeah, that probably is without Atlantic City or Pleasantville. They always like to wait.
Well, maybe it takes them longer to count.
Could be.
Due to the fact that there's so many more casting their vote usually over
could
there.
be.
Also, at Atlantic County Freeholder at Large, Amy Gatto, 54% Brathwaite with almost 46%.
And just think, she ran no campaign at all. Neither one. Neither one ran a campaign.
David, you said Clinton took Connecticut?
Clinton,
all right, Clinton has...
That was expected, and also they reelected Levy up there, the senator. And Connecticut was in New England State. He's been there forever in this.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the one that ran for vice president, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
That was Lieberman.
Lieberman, okay. It says here Republican John Boozman of Arkansas was reelected to the Senate. So I guess that's a good thing for Republicans who want to keep control.
You bet.
On the electoral map, it's been updated. Trump with 129 electoral votes. Hillary Clinton 104 electoral votes.
Wow.
Could be a ball game.
could be a burner, right?
Oh, yes, it could be. Maybe the miracle, like the Mets and like the Cubs.
Yeah, coming right through.
Early results from Colorado, Clinton and Trump tied at 46% each. Florida still, Donald Trump maintaining a 1-point lead, 4.4 million to 4.3 million. Where did I see? I saw Michigan, again, still early voting. Donald Trump has taken a 1-point lead in Michigan.
Wow.
New Hampshire, Clinton with a 1-point lead over Trump, again, early voting. Ohio, Donald Trump 51%, Hillary Clinton 44%.
That sounds good. I wonder, nothing in from Pennsylvania yet, though.
As a matter of fact, I was just about to report that. Again, early returns in show Clinton 64% and Donald Trump 33%. A little bit local, but again, we're talking about less than 500,000
Probably
votes.
the western part of Pennsylvania hasn't come in yet, out in the rural sections where Trump's heavy. But well,
the panhandle of Pennsylvania.
Will you give any credit to
Steel Towns
to the performers and the big show in Philadelphia, Bon Jovi, etc.? Bruce Springsteen. Do you think they garnered any votes?
You know what? It did. I'm sure it didn't hurt.
I'm just going to say that.
When you're talking about Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, Barack and Michelle Obama, Hillary and Bill and Chelsea Clinton, it's a pretty interesting stage.
Barack Obama called my house the other day.
Then what did he say?
Wanted me to vote for somebody. I'm not exactly sure.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, it must have been calling all the Democrats.
It must have been.
How about that?
Did he say hi? This is Barack.
But, when you stop and think of it, when you stop and think of it, the Donald out of nowhere has been running against the media, Hillary Clinton, the President of the United States, the First Lady, and who else did they throw into? All these people.
The people of Brigantine.
Yeah, no, we're going to go solid for Trump. And by the way, we got to get some numbers in from Brigantine. Big election over there. We're waiting.
Well, I do have Atlantic County Freeholder District 4, Rich Days with 51%, Steve Stokes with 49%.
Oh, twisted around.
Switching back and forth.
23 out of 29 precincts reporting. Almost 80% of the vote in.
Maybe Brigantine's vote came in because Dave's pretty popular over there. Being, Republicans probably getting their vote out. And so they're awfully quiet over there. I wonder how things are going. We'll find out very shortly. Maybe they're still out collecting signs.
I can update Virginia. We spoke to the gentleman from that radio station in Virginia right now. Donald Trump holding a 3 percentage point lead over Hillary Clinton.
That's going to be surprising.
Yeah, and very, very early returns from Wisconsin show Trump with a 58-37 lead over Hillary Clinton.
But we don't know where that vote's hit.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we'll hear from Walt West, maybe, one of my callers. Let's go to Mike. Mike, how's his last name there?
Sackley.
Thank you very much. Mike Sackley from the Phoenix, Arizona?
KTAR. How you doing, Mike?
KTAR. How's it going in Arizona?
I'll tell you what, guys, the polls just closed here, and this is a state that has been pretty reliably Republican in the presidential race past for a number of cycles now, but this was a state that was contested by both sides. Donald Trump made a number of visits here. Hillary Clinton made a visit here last week. So it's leaning Trump right now, but it's possible that this state could go either way, and Arizona hasn't been a toss-up state in quite a while, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens out here in the Grand Canyon state.
How's my favorite sheriff doing out there?
You know what? He's going to be in a very tight race of his own. Joe Arpaio's been bogged down by a number of court hearings and a lot of attorney costs as well, which cost taxpayers a lot of money out here in Maricopa County. He's got a very tough challenge against the Democrat Paul Penzone, and this might be his toughest race yet, just because of all the publicity of him being in court on a regular basis. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think he's in for a very tough fight.
That looks that way. And, if you get anything else, be sure to call us back. Of course, you're still counting out there. You just close your polls.
Yeah. We actually have a number of ballots that aren't going to be counted till tomorrow. So, we've had a lot of early ballots out here in Arizona, but the process can be slow at times, and it's possible if we have some close races out here, we won't know the results until tomorrow. So we definitely got to keep.
And what was the latest poll? Who was ahead in that at the latest polling? Do you have that?
In which race?
In for the president.
President's race. Trump was up by about 5 points in one of the more recent polls I saw. It's kind of varied between 2 and 5 points. So I think he's probably leaning towards him, but that's some of them were within the margin of error. So it's possible that Hillary could turn the state blue. But if you had to guess right now, I'd probably say Trump's probably going to keep it, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Thank you very much for your call, and good luck out there.
At KTAR. Thanks, Mike.
Don, Bob, we can report with 100% of the vote in from the city of Cape May.
Ooh.
They have a new mayor.
Oh, my gosh.
Former retired Police Lieutenant Chuck Lear has defeated incumbent Mayor Ed Mahoney, and pretty substantial. You could say landslide.
How about that?
731 votes to 404 votes. That's almost 2-1.
Yeah.
64% to 35% for Chuck Lear as the mayor-elect of the city of Cape May.
Well, congratulations, Chuck Lear.
All right, and we got...
is this Brigantine?
Let's see. Brigantine.
Here we go. Brigantine.
We got the final. When Brigantine finally got him here. Let's see what we got. In Republican view, 70.46, that's 830 votes ahead of the Democrat Heel, who has 29.37%. That means 346 votes. These are incomplete. This is not a finals. They are finals. Okay, they are finals. So View, that's from the first ward, and that is where has always been the strength of the Republican Party, the first ward there. In fact, I'm in the first ward there, and it's a lot of city employees will live in the first ward, I have heard. And Reardon defeated McClay. That means the incumbent Democrat has lost by a little over 33 votes. Reardon with 52.1%, that equates to 466 votes. McClay, with the incumbent Democrat, 47.9%, but that's 430 votes, so that's 36 votes that she lost by. And in the Third Ward Council, Haney, former state trooper, etc., and there's a lot of controversy over this. The Democrats tried to say that he got favoritism for his tax break, and that was not really true. 56.1% Haney wins with 562 votes over Withers. I don't know if that cost him some votes going out collecting those signs. Why would you do that, Mr. Withers?
Doesn't make
but
any
I'm glad
sense.
you did. If that 435, it was Haney, 562, Withers 435. And for the 4th Ward, unfortunately, the Democrats held on to that seat. The attorney, DeLucre, 56.24, the new man in the political arena, Angelo Skyar, with 43.65. In votes, it was 487 for the incumbent Democrat attorney DeLucre, and Angelo with 378. And so, therefore, the Democrats lost 1 seat. The Republicans picked up a seat in the Brigantine.
I have some statewide results for the referendum. Referendum question number 1 is now 79% to 21% no. 20% of the districts reporting. This is question number 2. That's the lockbox question, 50 to 50. 50% yes, 50% no. That's 20% recording. And this is Cape May. This is the presidential race in Cape May. 52 of 127 districts reporting Trump 58.22, and Clinton 37.89, and Johnson 1.72%.
We have more on the congressional race in District 2. Incumbent Congressman Frank Lobiondo with 66% of the vote, and the challenger, Democrat David Cole, 31%. If you want vote numbers, 20,118 votes for Frank Lobiondo. I'm looking at 9,379 votes for David Cole. That's does not say, it's about 12% of the district reporting.
How about that, huh? Yeah. Well, we're back to the numbers I thought that Frank would win by 60%.
And also in Atlantic County, Buena Vista Township Committee, Martinelli with just about 51% of the vote, and Williams with 48.6% of the vote. I don't know if did you move to Buena Vista Township, Don, and run for committee? You're losing if you did. So.
No, I have not. Well, just let me make a correction. I said the Republicans picked up a seat. They actually picked up 2 seats, defeating Withers and also defeating McClay.
How about that?
Yeah, well, Withers was caught out with some signs.
Was there 3 Democrats up? 3 incumbents?
Yeah, no, 2. Well, three were running, yes. And
okay.
DeLucre, the attorney in the 4th Ward, held on. This was Angelo Scalara as his first foray into the political arena, and only lost by 109 votes in the 4th Ward. It's not bad, not well known, and of course DeLucre has been on the council for a couple of terms, and I mean, it's tough defeating a lawyer, isn't it?
It is. They know all the tricks. They know all the tricks.
Well, we're sorry to hear that. We know Mr. Angelo happens to be a very good friend, and but it was his first time at it, so maybe he'll be back again. He knocked on a lot of doors, just didn't, knock on 100 and some, evidently.
Yeah, he missed a few
some
of
more.
them, huh?
You never know.
Missed a few of them. It's been pretty cool so far, the way the races have been going. It's there's some stuff that's really kind of happening. Huh?
Well, we're going to be taking a break. No? Yes. Well, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. We'll be back.
Coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning.
At Elliott McElwee, your comfort is our business. Hi, I'm Gary McElwee. Elliott McElwee has been installing quality heating and air conditioning systems to thousands of homes since 1980. Elliott McElwee recommends the Bryant line of heating and air conditioning equipment for all your comfort needs. Bryant's product offering includes the fully communicating Evolution system with remote access to monitor and adjust your home's temperature. We can provide various solutions for your home comfort needs, from our multi-stage gas furnaces and air conditioners to the Bryant Coast Guard series for enhanced tough coat coil protection in corrosive coastal areas. At Elliott McElwee, we service what we sell. Our fleet of well-stocked service trucks and well-trained technicians are ready to provide our customers with prompt, courteous service to get your system back up and running in case of an emergency. Give us a call today at 641-1888. And remember, at Elliott McElwee, your comfort is our business.
Helping to bring tonight's coverage, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet at 200 Tilton Road, Kensington Square in Northfield. Remember to save loot, shop at the Boot. They will beat or match any competitor's advertised price or coupon. Be sure to check out their excellent selection of organic wines and gluten-free beers in stock. Bootleggers is open 7 days a week from 9 in the morning till 10 p.m. You'll also find New Jersey lottery tickets there, as well as some snacks to take home with your beverages. Leaves are falling, and so are the prices at Bootleggers, New Jersey's discount price leader. Check out their website, bootleggersliquors.com. Great selection. Phone 609-484-WINE. That's 609-484-9463. Bootleggers, Tilton Road, Northfield, in the Kensington Square. Wines and champagnes, along with a full line of craft beers. Look for their ad in the Current and the Beachcomber newspapers. Remember, save some loot. Shop the Boot.
Glenn Insurance wants to remind you that hurricane season is here. Here's a helpful tip to keep your family, home, and business safe from a major storm. Always have emergency supplies on hand, such as a battery-powered radio, flashlights, extra batteries, and water. Keep your medications and important documents on hand in case of evacuations, and have cash available in case ATM machines and banks are closed. For any type of insurance, think Glenn. Glenn Insurance, a true community partner for over 100 years.
Your voice, your vote. Polls closing, votes being counted this election night 2016. Donald Trump, the ABC News projected winner in Arkansas, Texas, Nebraska, the Dakotas, Wyoming, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama. Hillary Clinton, the projected winner by ABC News in Connecticut, New York, Illinois, Delaware, Rhode Island, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont, and Washington, D.C. A major theme this election night? ABC News political director Rick Klein.
The portion of the electorate that's more diverse than ever, which would seem to portend badly for Donald Trump to see more Latinos showing up than in previous cycles, a lower share of white voters and a larger share of college-educated white women.
More projections by ABC News that the Republicans will hold on to control of the House of Representatives. Democrats' hopes of gaining control of the Senate, bolstered by Tammy Duckworth's win over incumbent Mark Kirk in Illinois. Vote 2016, Richard Cantu, ABC News.
It's the nation's largest co-ed high school basketball tournament, and it happens right here in South Jersey. The Boardwalk Basketball Classic at the Wildwoods Convention Center this December. The Boardwalk Basketball Classic features over 70 boys and girls teams from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. This year, 7 big days of high-flying, heart-pounding high school basketball. It kicks off December 23rd with the Crest Savings Bank Battle of the Boards. An afternoon and evening of the games capped off with the Island Championship featuring Wildwood and Wildwood Catholic boys. The action picks up again December 26th with future stars, grade school and JV teams, followed by varsity action. Then it's all varsity through December 31st. Log on to bbclassic.com. That's bbclassic.com for regular updates. Schedules subject to change. The Boardwalk Basketball Classic is made possible by Crest Savings Bank, Longport Media, the Greater Wildwoods Improvement and Development Authority.
Tune in this and every Friday for the Don Williams Morning Show, powered by Shore Urgent Care and Shore Physicians Group. With locations in Mays Landing, Northfield, and Atlantic City, Shore Urgent Care provides quality care close to home. For a complete list of providers, visit shorephysiciansgroup.com. WOND Pleasantville.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
And let's go right to David. He has some results, and then we'll be going to the lady there on the phone. But we'll be
all right,
with
Don, in the Board of Freeholders race in Atlantic County, Days with 51% and Stokes with 49%. And that is with just about 80% of the votes counted. In Cape May County for the freeholders, Freeholder Director Jerry Thornton and Freeholder Emery Hayes appeared to have been reelected to their seats. They both had approximately 7,800 votes. So they are back in office. In the borough of Stone Harbor, former Stone Harbor police officer, who now manages the Cape May County Animal Shelter. Judy Davies Dunhauer was elected mayor of the borough of Stone Harbor. She ran unopposed.
She beat Mayor Walter in the primary.
In the primary,
Yeah.
yeah. And in the Cape May City Council race, Patricia Hendricks has defeated Zachary Mullock 51% to just about 49%, and that is final.
All right, let's go to Diane D'Amico, and she is from the Press of Atlantic City, of course, and has been for some time. She's gone? All right, she had to leave us. She'll give us back. She'll call us back.
Donald Trump takes Louisiana.
Took Louisiana. Oh, boy. Philly gumbo and all that, too. Huh?
And, right now, the
crawfish pie and
the electoral,
pull the Piro down the bayou.
The electoral college map shows Trump with 137, Hillary Clinton with 104. You know, looking at those states that we've been looking at for a while now, Donald Trump maintains a 1-point lead in Florida, 4.5 million to just about 4.4 million. Go ahead, Don.
Let's go to Diane D'Amico, and good evening.
Hi.
What do you got for us?
Well, it appears that Linwood voters will now get to vote for their school board.
Wow. Well, how about that?
Yeah, it was about what was the vote? About 1,866 to about 1,500 votes. So, you know, they've had an appointed board. They're one of only about 20 appointed boards left in the state. And some residents got together and decided they'd like to have an elected board, and the voters agreed with them.
Well, sounds like a good thing. It seems where they have elected boards, they seem to have a little less expense.
Yeah, it works that way. That was a hot race in Linwood, wasn't it, Diane?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, residents really kind of got into it. You know, again, pretty good turnout, and you know, people, I guess, you know, they like to have an opportunity to vote. So, you know, even if they think that people are doing a decent job, Linwood certainly has an excellent school district. But you know, people want to have more say in it, and now they're going to have that chance. You know, it's going to take a little while.
Do you have any figures on the other races out of Linwood?
Well, we don't have the results; are just kind of trickling in. Obviously, in Linwood, since they don't have an elected school board, there's no school board election for them this year. We're still waiting to get the results from the Atlantic City, the school voucher question. That's just been trickling in, so it's a little too early to call. But, you know, we did want to keep you updated on that Linwood issue since we knew a lot of voters were interested in it.
Hey, Diane, it's David Spatz. Let me ask you a question. How long before Linwood transitions from the appointed school board till they have their first election?
Well, I believe what happens, I'm going to have to check on the details tomorrow. You know, obviously, typically you have a 9-member board and 3 members are elected each year, so they overlap. So I believe what happens is that the next election, 3 members will be elected. And so there'll be 3 seats open, and 3 people will be able to run for them, and that'll just transition in over a 3-year period. You know, that's typically how it happens. I have to double check with the state to make sure on the process. I'm not sure how they decide which 3 seats in terms of the people there are 7 people currently on the board there now. So whether it'll be you know, certain members whose terms are up, those seats will go up plus maybe 1 more type thing. They just have to come up with a process, but it won't be all at once. It typically isn't. You're not going to elect all 9 board members next November. Yeah.
Right. Understood. All right. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.
All right. And let's see. We've got Dan's back. All right. Is that right? Dan Klein, yes.
Prime time, Dan Klein.
Prime time, Dan Klein. Dan, what do you have for us there, Dan?
Hey, Big Don, thanks a lot, buddy. You guys, great show. Listen, by the way, I'm watching you guys on the Press of Atlantic City's website, and you all look terrific. And that's really a very unique situation you have there with the live broadcast. I have Sonny McCullough here. He's the mayor of Egg Harbor Township. He's got some real live, the latest information from Atlantic County headquarters. Here he is now, Sonny McCullough.
The mayor. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening.
I've got our Egg Harbor Township numbers. I don't know whether you have numbers from the other municipalities, but as of right now, we have Clinton at 939. That's 9,039 votes. to Trump, 8,781 votes.
Wow.
Cole, 6818. Lobiondo, 9,749.
Wow.
Which really...
That's shocking, Sonny.
it is, because usually it's a bigger spread than that.
Yeah.
So we got McGettigan at 8,957 to Rosenberg, 7,814. Brathwaite, 7,764. to Gatto's 8,792. Corsi is just in West Atlantic City, so it's 171 votes. But, hey, Bob, you remember when you were a Democrat, still are, and I was Republican. The Republicans always had, the majority of the registered votes in Egg River Township.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
That's changed.
What is it now, Sonny?
It's something like 7,900 Democrats to like 7,800 Republicans.
Really?
But this year there was a big surge. There was 2,200 additional voters signed up. I think our total is now around 27,000, which I think dwarfs any other municipality in this particular part of South Jersey.
Actually, I think, Sonny, you got 29,000. 29,465
29,000 now, okay.
registered voters, of which the Democrats have 7,967, Republicans are 7,840, and of course the unaffiliated 13,543.
Well, Bobby knows Bob knows that's always been the deciding factor.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I really think that the Bernie Sanders factor had a lot to do with the surge for the Democrats here in Egg River Township and possibly in Atlantic County. But that's not a bad thing, because that means the young people are coming out and they're getting interested in the political arena.
It's the only way we'll survive, Sonny. How'd Joe do?
Joe did fine. He won pretty big, and you can see that it's a pretty intelligent voter here in the township. They bounce back and forth.
How about has Atlantic City? Do you have Atlantic City in your totals yet, or Pleasantville?
No, I only have Egg River Township's totals.
So some of these results can be affected by Atlantic City coming in.
Oh, let me tell you something. I have said for years, when Pleasantville and Atlantic City comes in, it's going to wipe out the freeholder at large. Now, I don't know what those numbers are. You've got 29,421 right now.
Okay.
So we got Gatto. These are the numbers we have. But you don't have Egg River Township numbers yet. What happens up on that board is what I have. Yeah, well, right now, without Egg River Township's numbers, because I haven't given them to them yet, we have Gatto at 29,421 and 21,718. And I have to tell you, I don't think Pleasantville and Atlantic City are in. No, they're not.
No, they're not in. Well, to call us back when you have, the figures if they come in the next couple of hours.
Well,
they're always pretty late.
I haven't given the county our numbers yet, so that'll boost up things. But again, if there's not a dramatic difference in the mainland, and Atlantic City and Pleasantville come in, that changes the whole atmosphere.
Right. Thank you, Sonny. Thanks very much, Mayor. We got to move along. We want to get to Marvin DeAngelis, Press of Atlantic City. Good evening. Go right ahead.
Hey, Martin.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
What do you got for us?
They're not announcing a lot of results at the Democratic. I'm at the Democratic headquarters at the Linwood Country Club, and they're not announcing a lot of results. I do hear that Atlantic City is very slow coming in. Ernest Corsi, the freeholder, they announced his win, but he says he can't believe how slow the results are coming in here.
That's standard, though. They always like to wait to be the guys that change everything, because there's enough votes in Atlantic City to change any election in Atlantic County, isn't there?
There can be, but I don't know how the turnout was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the mood over there? How are they optimistic?
there's a lot of people watching TV screens for the national race. They're still
they're worried about Hillary
here. And the thing is that the local results are coming in so slowly that there's not a lot to focus on there. So you have a lot of TV watching going on.
Well, when you get something more, don't forget us. Give us a call back.
Okay.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
All right, I have some. These are statewide results for referendum question number 1. It's still 21% no, 21% yes, 79% no. So that's 33% of the districts reporting, and it's 33% for referendum number 2. That's the gas tax bill. It's still 50-50. So it's still hanging in at 50-50. I expect we'll see a change a little bit. And voter turnout stats. Let me see. 61%. Is this saying 61% of the people voted that were registered? Is that what that's saying? Yeah, in Atlantic County. Oh, 61% in Atlantic County. That's terrible. I know.
So far.
It's big numbers, but you know what?
I mean, considering the way the numbers have been in past years, that's like a massive.
And you should only have, they're not finals either, right? They're not the final totals yet.
There's voter turnout, 70,000 registered voters, and ballots cast for 17,000. That's 24%. That's 56 of 127 districts reporting. That's in Cape May. So Cape May, there's still more to come. So
is that Cape May numbers that you're giving there?
70,000 regular voters in Cape May, 17,000 ballots were cast. That's 27%, but that's only half of the districts reporting. And Atlantic County, 174,257 registered voters, and 107,000 turned out for 61%. But that's 149 of 151 districts, and Atlantic City is probably one of those districts that hasn't reported yet. So once they come in, that'll change those numbers significantly.
And of course, might as well. For people that didn't hear us, the city of Cape May has a new mayor.
The city of Cape May does have a new mayor. He is retired. Cape May Police Lieutenant Chuck Lear. He soundly defeated incumbent Mayor Ed Mahoney tonight by a near 2-1 margin. Mayor Mahoney has already conceded the election and called Chuck Lear with his congratulations.
Wow.
If we want to go down very quickly, the presidential race, as of right now, early returns from Colorado show Clinton with a 43% lead. Florida, Donald Trump still holding on to a 1 percentage point lead, 4.5 million to 4.4 million for Hillary Clinton. The state of Maine, early returns, 51% Clinton, 42% Trump. In Michigan, Trump holding a 49 to 45% lead. Minnesota is tied, 46% each. New Hampshire, Donald Trump with a 48 to 47% lead. North Carolina, Trump 50%, Clinton 48%. Ohio, Trump 53%, Clinton 43%. Pennsylvania, again, early returns. We're looking at about 1.5 million votes cast. Clinton 58, Trump 39. Virginia, Trump with a 1 percentage point lead. And Wisconsin, Trump with a 51 to 44 lead. In Atlantic County, for Atlantic County Clerk, this is with nearly 99% of the vote in 149 out of 151 districts reporting. Incumbent Democrat Ed McGettigan with 53,605 votes, and Paul Rosenberg, the Republican challenger, with 41,510 votes. It looks like Ed McGettigan will be reelected to his seat. The House of Representatives race here in Atlantic County, Frank Lobiondo, the incumbent congressman, with 54.5% to David Cole's 40, about 42%. And freeholder at large, Gatto in Atlantic County. Gatto with just about 51%, Brathwaite at 49%.
What'll be interesting is to look at Lobiondo's numbers and Donald Trump's numbers in Atlantic County. And when they see what the difference might be there if coming out very, very late and then finally admitting that he did vote for Trump, see if it cost him any votes in that plurality that he had, and if it affected anybody lower on the ticket.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, people did jump around, though, because look at McGettigan. He's a Democrat, and I was surprised with the numbers in Egg Harbor Township, that Clinton actually won in Egg Harbor Township over Trump.
I think Obama carried Egg Harbor Township.
Yeah, he did.
They're pretty close. Times have changed. People, just like some of the states, the voters have changed. There's some people have moved in, some people have moved out, some people have died, and younger people have taken their place.
Yeah.
That's a lot of towns have changed.
But what Sonny was saying about the young people coming in because of Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, yeah.
That's positive. I had Marshall Spivak on my show today. He's chief of staff for Vince Mazzeo, and this was a day off for him because it was election day. And he's been involved in politics since he was 14 years old. He's 28 today, and he's president of the statewide Young Democrats Association.
That's half his life.
Yeah, half his life.
And he's only 28.
He's 28, yeah.
Well,
and he's run campaigns. He's been a political consultant, worked in D.C. for a couple of years. And, but he's a young guy.
I don't know what time, at what age, but I know it was a pretty young age. Keith Davis, who's now an attorney and the chairman of the
Where did he go wrong? He had a great job as a producer, and he became a lawyer. What the hell is wrong with him?
He was my producer, yeah. And he was still going to St. Augustine at the time when he was off on summer vacation.
Yeah.
Then he started going to college and everything, and next thing went down to the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank.
Yeah.
And next thing, he was always interested in politics too. I don't know how young, but I had a school teacher who was at the Elks, and she said, I got a young student. She said, they're just crazy about your radio show, and he really likes you.
Yeah.
And I said, gee, I hope he gets a diary that'll bring with those demographics. But now he's quite an attorney, too.
He's a smart
with a very
guy.
good firm.
As we get ready to head to break, we can call the Freeholder District 4 race in Atlantic County for Rich Days, the Republican, with 11,346 votes, to Steve Stokes, the Democratic challenger, 10,652 votes. That is a final.
Yeah, they don't have the Atlantic City to worry about.
Also, Absecon Mayor with 100% of the vote in. Armstrong reelected with 59.4% of the vote to Phillips, 40.5%.
This is the Atlantic City public question about the schools. Yes, 45.59%. No, 54.41%. So that went down. Q3B, which is... should the state of New Jersey designate the city to become offering property tax credits to people? Okay, that's the same thing. Homeschool and both homeschool. So both of those votes went down. The question 3B went down 37% to 62%. Question 3A went down 45 to 54%. And that's with 20 of 21 districts reporting from Atlantic City.
All right, you got something else you want to pass along, and then we'll take a break.
Oh, here we go. It's 51% yes for question number 2, ballot question number 2 for the Transportation Trust Fund. 51%, 41% no, that's statewide. And question 1, 21 to 79. It's been holding at 21 to 79.
Overperforming.
Yeah.
Coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning.
Well, no matter who wins tonight, gold's a good investment. Buying gold or silver? Stop by the Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, 645-1031 if you want to give them a call. That's 609-645-1031. Gold, silver, coins, jewelry, Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. Call them for their current prices, or better yet, stop in and see them. In stock, Silver Eagles, Maples, Pandas, Silver Bars, and Rounds. By the way, they also have White's metal detectors. And if you're selling your collectible or your gold or your silver, if you need to raise some cash, check with others, but make sure you check with Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. You, like thousands of others, will be glad you did. 3 locations actually to serve you: 6692 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, where they are open 7 days a week. And on Saturdays from 10 until 5, you'll find Doug Keefe himself, the manager, right there in Brigantine at 13th and Brigantine Avenue. Tuesdays from 10 until 3 in the old bank building between the White Horse and New Jersey Avenue, and they're there 10 to 3 on Tuesdays. But 7 days a week, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township. Phone number 609-645-1031. Buying gold and silver or selling gold and silver or other collectibles, it's Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles.
Being diagnosed with cancer can be a distressing experience. Naza Cancer Center is committed to treating each patient's full range of needs, including the emotional aspects that are an undeniable part of this disease. From an on-staff social worker and health insurance counseling to transportation arrangements, Naza Cancer Center's concierge services offer everything you need to go from worry to recovery. 3 locations to serve you. Visit NazaCancerCenter.com.
Flu season is here, but there's something else going around that can be even more contagious, and that's hope. Rite Aid is committed to spreading hope, not the flu. In honor of all our customers who get a flu shot, the Rite Aid Foundation is donating over $1.8 million to more than 350 KidSense charities committed to the health and well-being of children in our communities. So come in today and get your flu shot. No appointments necessary, and it's free with most insurance. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Flu vaccines available while supplies last. Age restrictions apply in some states. See pharmacy for details.
And now, your daily tax tip with noted tax, estate, and nursing home planning attorney David R. Thierman.
In 2016, capital gain rates for married couples making up to $75,300 are 0. Thereafter, the capital gain rates go up to 15 and 20%.
To reach David R. Thierman, call 609-653-6003. And make sure to listen to the radio show It's Your Money with David R. Thierman and Gene Isley, Saturday mornings at 8 here on News Talk 1400 WOND.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
And Bob Burns has got some interesting numbers we run over again.
I talked about this before. There's 2 parts to public question number 3 in Atlantic City. The first part is people that send their kids to private schools should get vouchers. And the second part is if they send their kids to private schools, they should get property tax credits. Those are people that choose to homeschool their kids. So the first question is, should they get vouchers if they go to private school? And that was turned down 54% to 45%. 54% voted no. And for the property tax credits for homeschooled children, that was turned down. 37% voted yes and 62% voted no. So those are the 2 questions in Atlantic City, and that's with 20 of 21 districts reporting. So that's pretty much a sealed deal, and that's a dead issue.
Well, speaking of schools in Linwood, they decided they want an elected school board in Linwood.
Yep. Yeah, and that vote is official now.
That's a good thing.
And Ventnor decided they want to have alcohol at 3 of the restaurants.
Yeah, 3 restaurants will have the opportunity to buy liquor licenses. In Cape May County, there are 2 freeholder seats up for grabs. We have a little bit more than half of the 127 districts reporting right now. Incumbent freeholder director Jerry Thornton and incumbent Republican freeholder Marie Hayes, each with approximately 30% of the vote. The Democratic challengers Kurkowski and Ammenhauser each have 20% of the vote. So as long as those totals hold, it appears that the incumbents Thornton and Hayes will be reelected.
Shocking.
And over in Brigantine, the Republicans picked up a couple of seats, and the Democrats held on to 1 in the 4th ward. And the Republicans won, of course, in the 1st ward, the 2nd ward, and the 3rd ward, but were unable to take the 4th ward. And so picking up a couple of seats there. Democrats losing a couple. And remind you, too, that this coverage is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles and Bootleggers Outlet, 200 Tilton Road in the Kensington Square. If Donald Trump wins tonight, I'll be over at Bootleggers.
Save some loot. Go to the boot, right?
Glenn Insurance wants to remind you that hurricane season is here. Here's a helpful tip to keep your family, home, and business safe from a major storm. Always have emergency supplies on hand, such as a battery-powered radio, flashlights, extra batteries, and water. Keep your medications and important documents on hand in case of evacuations, and have cash available in case ATM machines and banks are closed. For any type of insurance, think Glenn. Glenn Insurance, a true community partner for over 100 years. In Absecon and Vineland and online at glenninsurance.com.
Live and local radio you can depend on. News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey's news talk leader. Listen online at WONDradio.com.
It's 10 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Shifting fortunes on the road to the White House. Donald Trump continues to rack up wins in states. Montana, the latest.
We're seeing Donald Trump overperform in a lot of places that people didn't think, people had questions about. He'd get the enthusiasm enough. But he is, in many places, he's setting records in rural and ex-urban counties in almost every single state.
ABC News political analyst Matthew Dowd. Many swing states remain too close to call, including Florida. What may be holding Hillary Clinton back there? ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Hillary Clinton has won just 51% of women in Florida, according to the preliminary results of the exit polls. Compare her share of women in other battleground states, 53% in Michigan, in New Hampshire, 54% in Ohio, Wisconsin, Georgia, Colorado, 55%, North Carolina, 58% in Pennsylvania. So she is lagging among women in Florida, and that may be keeping this close.
ABC's Aaron Katersky. Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio is the projected winner of a second term in defeating Democratic Congressman Patrick Murphy.
I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said, you know, I'm not a Republican, but I'm going to vote for you because you guys helped me. You helped me with a Social Security claim. You helped me with an issue at the VA.
Democrat Tammy Duckworth, the ABC News projected winner over incumbent Illinois Senator Mark Kirk. Among ballot measures, Colorado voters say yes to legalizing assisted suicide. A chaotic and deadly shooting scene near a Southern California polling place.
People casting their votes inside an Azusa, California school wound up trapped inside for hours.
We have one female suspect that was armed with an assault rifle.
Police Chief Stephen Hunt saying one person died, 2 others wounded, and there was a body lying in the doorway.
We don't know if that's one of the victims from the assailant or if that is the suspect.
Azusa police have moved the election balloting to another location. Andy Field, ABC News.
You're listening to ABC News.
Outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-436-0169 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-436-0169 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-436-0169. That's 1-800-436-0169. Again, 1-800-436-0169.
News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey weather with meteorologist Dan Skelton.
Clouds gradually increase overnight tonight. That will keep temperatures up a bit in the mid-40s. Not as nice Wednesday as what we saw on Election Day Tuesday, though. Mainly cloudy, cooler, upper 50s, and there'll be some light rain or rain showers. Sunshine comes back on Thursday, mid to upper 50s, mostly sunny skies. Partly sunny, windy, low 60s degrees on Friday, then much colder by Saturday. In the Longport Media 24-hour Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dan Skelton.
Live and local radio you can depend on for accurate news and stimulating talk. News Talk 1400 WOND, South Jersey's news talk leader.
From the studios of Green Broadcast Plaza in Linwood, News Talk 1400 WOND welcomes you to Decision 2016 Election Night coverage. Your complete source for the results of tonight's presidential election, as well as the outcome of races in our immediate area. Tonight's exclusive broadcast is made possible by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning. Now from WOND's Election Night headquarters, here are your hosts, Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
All right, we'll bring you up to date on a lot of the local issues here and the local results. But first, let's go to Brigantine and Deputy Mayor and Councilman Andy Simpson. Good evening, Andy.
Hey, Don and Bob. How you guys doing tonight?
All right, Andy. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Well, you picked up a couple of seats.
Well, we won 3 out of the 4 seats. Karen View against Jack Heil. We had 830 for Karen View, 346 for Jack Heil. Mike Reardon in the 2nd Ward, 466 to Lisa McClay, 430.
Do you think she'll call for a recall? Is that
No, we already did the absentee ballots and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have the numbers.
51 for Reardon and 40 for Lisa McClay. So he had another 11 points on top of that.
Uh-huh. And then Haney beat Withers, right?
Yes, 562 to 435. Then Skyera, Angelo, on the 4th Ward, 378 to 487.
Well, that was his first attempt running for office. Maybe you can talk him into running again.
Yeah, he got in the race late and everything. So
Yeah.
when we had one of our candidates that dropped out.
And he only lost by 109 votes, something like that.
Yes.
Pretty good for the first
great
time.
guy. Yeah,
Well, that
great guy.
gives you a bigger majority to work with on the council.
Yeah, we should have 6-1, and we're looking forward to keeping Brigantine moving forward in the right direction. That's all.
Well, I think
Do you need any of the other ones, Gatto and Days and all that?
Oh, we got all that, Andy.
We got it all, Andy. We got it all. And how did Trump come out of Brigantine? Do you have that?
How did Trump come out? Trump had 2335, and Hillary Clinton had 1,620.
Oh, so Trump did carry Brigantine.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I can come back over the bridge tonight.
Yeah, you can.
Put the signs back, Don.
Yeah.
And do you think Mr. Withers there, is he going to face any charges on those signs, or don't you know?
We're going to let the dust settle and revisit that in a couple of days and see if him and Mr. Palillo are going to be charged with anything at this particular time.
And as far as you know, nobody spotted that deer again.
Anybody see the deer? No.
All right. Congratulations on the hard work, and I know a lot of you guys really did. You saw a lot of signs, and a lot of people were knocking on doors, and congratulations to the team.
Well, I would thank you, and of course Bob Burns is 2 classy guys, and I appreciate everything you say.
Right, and I think it didn't hurt that you had some very good advertisements on News Talk WOND.
That's right.
I think that put us over the top. So
I'm sure it did.
If this is advertisement, I would like to have a discount.
All right. Well,
thanks, Andy.
Andy, if Donald Trump wins, I'll be over to see you at Bootleggers tomorrow. I'll go for the top shelf.
Save some loot. Go to the boot.
Thank you, Andy. Have a good night.
Take care.
David?
All right, we can update the presidential race right now from the Electoral College standpoint. Donald Trump with 150 electoral votes. Hillary Clinton with 109.
Her number hasn't moved, has it?
It went up 2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the
Was that
biggies
Maine?
aren't in yet.
No, we still are looking for Pennsylvania, Florida, obviously California. The polls haven't closed
North
yet.
Carolina?
North Carolina, I just saw those numbers. Wait a
Missouri
minute.
took is Trump, and New Mexico is Clinton.
All right, and North Carolina right now, Trump with a 3-point lead, 1.957 million to 1.824 million.
That's good news for the Trump people so far.
Yep, Pennsylvania still Hillary Clinton with a 53 to 44% lead.
Wow.
With about it's been a 2.1. About 2.2 million votes.
That's 30-some electoral votes, isn't it?
Yeah. 30, I think it's
38?
38, 33, somewhere
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
in the 30s.
Wow. Oh, look at that. Wow. Let's talk to Jim McMillan. See what
All
he's got
right,
to
let's
say.
go to Jim. Jim down at the headquarters in Cape.
Hey, Don, here we have again.
Jim, Jim, could you hold him just a minute, please?
Sure.
Hold on just a second, Jim. Let's go to Assemblyman Chris Brown. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Don. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Assemblyman. Big night for the Republicans so far.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch, isn't it? It's incredibly close, and it makes for a real nail biter.
Well, looks like the vote for the casinos up north, it looks like that's going down in flames.
Well, that is wonderful, and I will tell you that the people here in Atlantic County sure crushed it. And I'm getting texts from my North Jersey Assembly friends. For example, Assemblyman Eric Peterson from Hunterdon County. He texted me, B1 loses in Hunterdon County 80% to 20%. Good job. So throughout the state, our message resonated, and it is really, really gratifying and exciting for all the people of Atlantic County to see us do so well on that ballot.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you. What's next on the agenda? What is going to happen up there? What's going on with the Atlantic City? What do you hear up in Trenton?
Well, there are a couple power brokers who are looking to just take Atlantic City assets and start sharing them with their friends and family. And the majority of people in Trenton understand that that's not a good thing. And so they're going to see if the plan that the city put together, which Moody's called robust, it makes more sense than having no plan from the Christie Sweeney Whalen team. It just makes abundant sense to make sure there's transparency, that we don't lose public assets to private hands. And so we're waiting to see how that winds up ultimately panning out.
Well, thank you, Assemblyman, and we'll be talking to you in the very near future. Thanks for being in touch with us.
Yes, sir. Great job, WOND. I wore my button today at the polling booth, and my hat's off to everybody there for your public service and your commitment to the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. He had his button on. I didn't see him. I could have
Could've
awarded
given one
him
of
a
those gift
prize.
things,
Yeah.
Registered voters in Cape May County, 70,801. Ballots cast, 43,414. And 61.32% turnout.
Let's go to Jim McMillan down in Cape May County. Jim, thanks for waiting. Good evening again. Hello, Jim.
Hi, Don.
Yes,
Hey, Jim.
good evening.
Hey, Jim, what's up?
Hi, Don. Here at the Rio Station down in Rio Grande, Cape May County, with the mayor of Middle Township, who just won re-election. Michael Clark defeated Dan Lockwood in the vote tallying tonight, and he'll continue as mayor. You get a moment to chat with the mayor?
Certainly.
Hang on.
Mayor of Middle Township.
Hey, how are you?
We're fine, and congratulations.
Oh, thanks. A great night here in Middle Township. I'm just happy to retain my seat on Township Committee and continue to represent the residents of Middle Township. So it's a big night. Somewhere we unofficially are up by 380 votes. So looks like it's going to be a big win for us tonight. So,
Mayor? What were the big issues in your race there? Were there any ones that stand out more than another?
No, we just focused on the great things that are happening in Middle Township. This past year, we put in a new police substation. Crime is down 40% in Rio Grande since we did that. We instituted the crimes unit full time once again here in Middle Township. We put a police officer, resource officer in the school district. So we've been concentrating on the crime issue and the drug issue, and we're excited that things are going well. We increased the police department. We're up to 50 members on the police department, and hopefully soon to be increased up to 52 officers. We had a couple promotions at our last meeting, and a lot of great businesses coming to Middle Township. We have commercial business is booming. We've had more commercial business come to Middle Township in the this last year than we've had in a decade. So we're excited about that. We have an Aldi food store that's going to be opening up on the 17th of this month. So we'll have ribbon cutting down here in Rio Grande. Of course, we have a new McDonald's here in Rio Grande. Taco Bell's coming soon. And we opened up 7 Mile Brewery also here in Rio Grande. So,
Mayor, thank you very much. Thank you. And again, congratulations.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Yeah, and thank you, Jim. Now we got to go to Vineland, and we have, I guess, Congressman Lobiondo is getting ready to give his a speech. Hello there. Who do we have?
Ed Kazuba.
Ed Kazuba? Ed, are you there?
Yes, Don.
Good evening.
Yeah, hi from Vineland. Good evening to you. We've been waiting here for the results, and it's taken longer than expected, I guess, because of the heavy turnout. But we understand now that Frank Lobiondo, the congressman here from who lives in Ventnor but also represents Cumberland County, has been reelected to a 12th term in Congress. And the congressman is about to give his victory speech. He's been sitting around waiting for everything to fall into place because he didn't want to speak prematurely.
Of course, that is his hometown, right, Ed? Not
yeah,
presently.
very close.
Not presently.
Rosenhain.
Huh?
Rosenhain. That's his hometown.
Rosenhain originally.
Yeah.
Right. Where in the world is Rosenhain?
Next to Vineland.
A suburb of Vineland.
Yeah. Rosenhain. That's where the trucking company was.
Banana capital
The banana capital, as somebody said, of South Jersey.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's trucked in. They don't grow bananas there, do they?
No, not anymore. They used to, but not anymore.
All right.
It was in
and so I guess
understand we're waiting for a microphone.
Oh, he's waiting for a microphone.
Because there it is, and the
you're going to be able to pick him up.
Cumberland County. Yes, we are going to be able to pick him up. Right now, there's going to be an announcement because there's no speaker system here set up. And this is the chairman of the Cumberland County Republican Party, and he's about to introduce Frank Lobiondo. Maybe we can get a little bit about the introduction.
Back to Washington yet again for a 12th term. Congressman.
He goes, the congressman and his wife right now are approaching the podium. They're walking up to the area, and we're just about to hear from re-elected Congressman Frank Lobiondo.
Well, thank you. To Anthony Finucci and the great team that he's got, thanks for allowing us to join in with you. Chairman Michael Testa and my running mates here in County, Tom Shepard, and my cousin Joseph Spratio. I know that it's going to be a little bit longer night for them to have the results. But what a sigh of relief. So I don't like to go through a lot of long speeches on a night like this, But just to say to my staff, my team, when good things happen, they're making it happen. My Chief of Staff, Mary Annie Harper, and the whole team, campaign and Washington staff and the district staff, thank you all very much. Do an outstanding job. To friends, supporters, we've been in this room, we've been in this situation a lot of times, and I really owe you a great debt of gratitude. I'm going to always continue to put South Jersey first. And what I said, I think in the very beginning, was I really wanted to bring South Jersey values to Washington. And I can't help but think of the lessons growing up. And some of you may remember, some of you may not remember, but 16 years and 2 days ago, my dad passed away. He was an inspiration for me, a role model for me, and taught me about just how to do things the right way. I remember it was like 2 days after he passed away that we had election night. It was a very difficult night, but those lessons learned in Rosenhain, those lessons learned on the farm, those lessons learned in the trucking company, they've served me well. So I'm going to promise you what I've always promised you. I'm going to give you the very best I have. I'm going to try to work as hard as I can for the best result for our district. But the person I want to save the biggest thank you for is right here. My wife, Tina. You know, you have an idea of what the candidate goes through. And this hasn't been the most pleasant of circumstances over the last couple of months. But nobody knows what the spouse goes through. Nobody knows what she has to put up with, we'll leave it at that. So I owe her a great debt of gratitude for being such a strong supporter, for being my best friend, for helping me understand the things that are important, and to keep encouraging me to do the very best I can. So I'll keep doing what I've been doing. When I go to sleep at night, I'll think about the day and how that went, and could I have done anything any better? And when I get up the next morning, I'm resolved to make that day a better day for the people I represent than the day before. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Well, you just heard the victory speech of Congressman Frank Lobiondo. Short, sweet, and to the point. It was a long wait for him. I mean, let's face it. It would have been a huge upset if he didn't win this race. But we had to wait for the official results to come in before the congressman could make his way to the podium and give his victory speech. We hope to be back with the congressman shortly to talk with him here on WOND Radio.
Thank you very much, Ed, and you'll be in touch, and we'll pick that up for you, right? Thank you very much, Ed Kazuba. Now here's David Spatz.
Don, in one of the more unusual races, it was not really a race, it was a non-binding referendum from North Wildwood, the folks who were wanting to change the name of the community from North Wildwood back to its original name, Anglesey. Yeah, I wouldn't go rushing off to Home Depot to buy
no new letters.
No new letters. The vote with all 8 districts reporting in North Wildwood, total of 1,597 votes were cast. 636 votes were in favor of changing the name, but 961 votes said, "Nah, we'll just stay with North Wildwood."
That's a romp, man.
Yeah, that's a romp. 60 to 40.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, that's a romp.
So now in things a little bit more important.
Well, maybe with that fancy name, they might have been afraid that their taxes would have gone up.
Yeah, that's it.
That's probably right, Don. Several media organizations, and you know what? We'll jump on this bandwagon too, are calling the North Jersey casino referendum in favor of the people that are against it. 79% to 21%.
That's what it's been.
That's with about 60% of the vote counted statewide.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear that that's something that's going to be easily overcome.
Maybe that'll be done.
Yeah. With let me see, we have 52% of the votes in on the question number 2.
Okay.
On the ballot that dedicates all revenue from the oil and gas taxes to the transportation trust fund. That's a close one. 51% yes, 49% no. But again, that's with a little over half of the votes counted. Trying to see where we have what else we have. Let me see, a little bit after 10 o'clock. Okay, Cape May County freeholder race. It appears that the Republican incumbents, freeholder director Jerry Thornton and freeholder Marie Hayes, will be returned to office. They each have 15,000 to 14,000.
All right, we can go back to Vineland, and here's Ed Kasuba with the Congressman Frank Lobiondo.
Don, thank you very much, and hello again from Vineland. You know, Congressman, we talked. This was a strange feeling tonight. You're sitting here. We know it would be a huge surprise if there was an upset, but you really couldn't say anything because it took so long for the results to come in. What did this night feel like to you?
Well, this is like the longest day of the year. I mean, you know, it's like 8 months long in these 24 hours or the last 48 hours. And you're right, Ed. You really can't say anything because you don't know. And until the ink is dry, you know, I once again don't like to speculate too much. I like to see the hard data. So I'm very appreciative. I'm very relieved, very thankful, and for all those who have helped me for so many years, for my teammates and running mates in each of the counties, I'm very grateful.
Will it make any difference to you in how you vote or what you go after based on the results of the presidential campaign and who eventually is elected sometime in hours from now?
Well, hopefully whoever is president is going to develop policies that will reflect in the best interest of South Jersey and the 2nd Congressional District. I'm always going to put the district first, and I'm going to continue to do that. Try to get results. We've got some tough times down here, and there's a whole partnership of teammates from the state level and the county level to try to help us pull through this, and I certainly am going to pull harder than ever before to get a good result for my constituents.
As I was studying your district, I was amazed at how many counties you touch and that it's the largest geographic congressional district in the state of New Jersey. That has to be tough.
It is. It's just about 40% of the state geographically, and for those who know me, they know that I love to be with constituents. So all the fire company breakfasts and the church barbecues and the American Legions and the VFW community fundraisers that we have, these are all pretty special. But it is sometimes a large trek to get across from Brigantine to Carney's Point and back to Cape May and over to Mantua or something like that. So, but it's motivating to be with the people of this district who are so great.
I just have two more questions. I know it's been a long night. You and I have the same birth year, and for some reason I don't seem to have as much energy as you do. So what's the trick of ensure high-carb diets? How do you do it?
Well, I love what I do, and I'm motivated to do the best job possible. So I recognize that, these are 2-year terms, and we have to not leave anything on the table, so to speak, not leave anything on the field. So being with the people that I represent, working with the different entities, whether they're other elected officials, this is very motivating. This is very energizing, and I've been blessed to have that opportunity.
Sports betting. Would you expect that to come up at the federal level in the upcoming Congress in any way, shape, or form?
Well, I would hope so. You're probably aware that Congressman Frank Pallone and myself are pushing a very bipartisan approach to doing this. It's a long, torturous legislative process. And with all that's been going on in Washington and with the presidential election, Congress just wasn't ready to really take this up. We've made some progress, though, in the last couple of years with some of the real naysayers from the professional sports leagues that are now saying, maybe this is the time. So as we get into football season again, as we get into some of the playoffs, I think it'll be a big emphasis that sports betting should have happened a long time ago to keep it legal. So Frank Pallone and I will get together again and try to do our best to move it forward even more.
Congressman, it's been a privilege for me to follow your career for a few decades, I guess to say, and all the best to you and your family as you start your new term.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you very much.
Congressman Frank Lobiondo, and you heard it was kind of interesting that they're not backing off. He's not going to back off on sports betting at all, and the bipartisan cooperation with Congressman Pallone, both two Shore legislators, by the way, wanting to put something together that apparently, as many people think by now, whose time has come. So you've heard from the congressman, and you've heard as things really wind down here in Vineland. So I'd like to send it back to everybody in the studio, and for WOND Radio, this is Ed Kasuba.
Ed, always good to hear from you. Keep up the great work, sir. Stay well, and thank you very much. And we'll be breaking for the news in just a moment or two here. Then we'll probably go to Nick Yuba with the Press of Atlantic City. And when we come back from the break here at 9:30. And by the way, Ohio has gone for Trump, or Trump has taken Ohio. Some more good news if you're following the national election, and I do think you are. I'm starting to get excited. I don't know about you out there, but I don't think I'll sleep tonight if Carolina comes in or Florida comes in for him.
Could be trouble, huh, Don?
Oh, it could be very interesting.
Well, it says Virginia went to Clinton.
Yeah, well, that's Virginia. We expected that.
But they usually vote Democrat in Virginia.
Well, it's not over.
It's not over till the large woman sings, right? Not over till the large woman sings. We're coming up on our bottom of the hour news break from ABC Headline News. You're listening to Don Williams, David Spatz, and Bob Burns. We're doing our election results, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Nick Huba from the Press of Atlantic City to see what he's up to. Phones seem to be lighting up. I wonder what's going on out there. Maybe somebody won an election. We'll be back.
Your voice, your vote. The latest ABC News projections, a big win for Donald Trump taking the key state of Ohio. Trump also wins Missouri. Hillary Clinton won New Mexico. While many swing states remain too close to call, Trump has outperformed expectations everywhere and currently leads.
It is very different from what we were seeing going into it, and very different from what we're seeing earlier this evening. And complete reversal of what we were talking about in terms of the Electoral College going for her and maybe the popular vote for him. That was an earlier theory.
ABC News political analyst Cokie Roberts. Investors very nervous. Dow futures down over 600 points. The Mexican peso off 10%. Democrats' hopes of taking control of the Senate got a boost with Tammy Duckworth's win over incumbent Mark Kirk in Illinois.
We showed a campaign that respects the voters and is focused on practical solutions rather than shop-worn slogans can actually be successful.
Vote 2016. Richard Cantu.
At Elliott McElwee, your comfort is our business. Hi, I'm Gary McElwee. Elliott McElwee has been installing quality heating and air conditioning systems to thousands of homes since 1980. Elliott McElwee recommends the Bryant line of heating and air conditioning equipment for all your comfort needs. Bryant's product offering includes the fully communicating Evolution system with remote access to monitor and adjust your home's temperature. We can provide various solutions for your home comfort needs, from our multi-stage gas furnaces and air conditioners to the Bryant Coast Guard series for enhanced tough coat coil protection in corrosive coastal areas. At Elliott McElwee, we service what we sell. Our fleet of well-stocked service trucks and well-trained technicians are ready to provide our customers with prompt, courteous service to get your system back up and running in case of an emergency. Give us a call today at 641-1888. And remember, at Elliott McElwee, your comfort is our business.
Helping to bring tonight's coverage, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet at 200 Tilton Road, Kensington Square in Northfield. Remember to save loot, shop at the Boot. They will beat or match any competitor's advertised price or coupon. Be sure to check out their excellent selection of organic wines and gluten-free beers in stock. Bootleggers is open 7 days a week from 9 in the morning till 10 p.m. You'll also find New Jersey lottery tickets there, as well as some snacks to take home with your beverages. Leaves are falling, and so are the prices at Bootleggers, New Jersey's discount price leader. Check out their website, bootleggersliquors.com. Great selection. Phone 609-484-WINE. That's 609-484-9463. Bootleggers, Tilton Road, Northfield, and the Kensington Square. Wines and champagnes, along with a full line of craft beers. Look for their ad in the Current and the Beachcomber newspapers. Remember, save some loot, shop the boot.
Haven Beat the Streets Incorporated will hold its second annual Winter Relief for anyone in need. Winter necessities will be given away on November 17th at Sister Jean's Kitchen in Atlantic City. Last year, Haven was able to provide over 200 coats and pre-made bags filled with socks, hand warmers, and various gift cards, and over 325 meals were served by Haven volunteers at Sister Jean's Kitchen. This year, Haven hopes to provide even more to those in need, but Haven needs your help. Please drop off donations in Ocean County to the Assembly of God Church at 800 Bay Avenue in Toms River between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Or in Atlantic County to Ida Alice's Thrift Store on 45 North New York Road, Route 9 in Smithville, Monday through Saturday between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. You can also donate safely for Haven's continued work at havenstreets.org. Haven is a non-profit organization. Items needed are coats, all sizes, socks, hand warmers, cash donations for gift cards, and temporary hotel placement in Ocean and Atlantic County.
Saddle up, AC. The rodeo is returning to Atlantic City's Boardwalk Hall with the American Finals Rodeo on Veterans Day weekend, November 11th and 12th. Get ready for some rip-roaring fun as the top rodeo competitors throughout the Northeast vie for the #1 spot. Witness a jam-packed night of rodeo action, including tie-down roping, steer wrestling, barrel racing, bull riding, and more. Tickets start at just $15 and are on sale now. What are you waiting for? Get your tickets today through Ticketmaster or the Boardwalk Hall box office and buckle down your plans for the American Finals Rodeo on November 11th and 12th.
WOND Pleasantville.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
And we're back, and we go to Nick Yuba of the Press of Atlantic City. Of course, you knew that. Nick, good evening again.
Good evening again, guys. It looks like Atlantic City dodged a bullet, and a big bullet at that. North Jersey Casino, the question appears to have gone down by a huge margin. You're talking like a 75-25 in some areas. It's at the point basically where it might not come back for a bunch of years now. I know Dave and I disagreed on that earlier, but I think it's at the point now where this is a kind of a mandate from the voters. They don't want it anymore.
Well, certainly, Nick, this is a much bigger statement than in 1974. I mean, it was a pretty solid election against casinos in 74, but nowhere near.
That was 60-40, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was.
And there was a lot of issues with that, with a lack of information, very similar to what happened today. But I think people saw Atlantic City and what was going on in Atlantic City, and kind of the issues they had kind of worked in their favor in a lot of ways.
There's no two ways about it. I really do think that if there was one silver lining in Atlantic City's huge financial crisis, it's that it kept. It was one of the factors that kept this referendum from passing.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think when I went up there and talked to some people, that was one of the big issues. One of the guys flat out said to me, he goes, I don't mind casinos. I just don't. I see what happened in Atlantic City. I don't want that in my backyard. And I think that kind of swayed a lot of people.
Again, just like 1974, it was the NIMBY effect, not in my backyard. Only it was we don't want casinos in my backyard, as opposed to, well, we saw what happened in Atlantic City. But I've said all along, what happened in Atlantic City or to Atlantic City financially was not the result of the casino industry. I mean, those two entities, the casinos and the city, operated at opposite ends of the spectrum, and they always have for the 38 years we've had, almost 39 years we've had casinos.
I kind of agree with that, but I think it's interesting. You talk about casinos as a redevelopment tool. People don't see it like that outside. And kind of you can pose the question after 40 years after the referendum. We've done story after story on this over the last couple of weeks. Really, did it make a difference in Atlantic City? Did it kind of like move some of the basically redevelop the businesses and things like that, and the housing and stuff? It doesn't appear to have done that. I think a lot of people saw that.
It didn't, and I think a lot of the reason for that is because when the state saw how much money I mean, Atlantic City was like a factory outlet for the U.S. Mint. And when the state saw that, they created the CRDA, and that money went flying all over the state, except into Atlantic City until 2011.
Well, gentlemen, we're going to have to break it off there and move on, but we can go back to the history a little bit later on. Thank you so much for calling in. Let's go to Jack in Cape May County. Jack?
Hello.
Hello there. How do you say your last name, sir?
Tomzook.
Tomnook. All right. Well, you have some results from Cape May County?
Yes, so Jerry Thornton and Eve Marie Hayes, the Republican freeholders who are running for re-election, they did win re-election, so that keeps the Cape May County Freeholder Board entirely Republican. There were 2 Democrats, 2 lawyers, John Emenhauser and Daniel Kowski, who were running against them. They each got 20% of the vote, but Hayes and Thornton won one. And in Cape May City, there was a contentious mayoral race between Ed Mahaney and Chuck Lear. And Chuck Lear won in a landslide. He won 65% of the vote. And that was Mahaney's been the mayor since 2008, but he drew some criticism for a number of things, most notably the demotion, his role in the demotion of the police chief there, Robert Sheehan.
And that came back to cost him the mayorship, it looks like, right?
Yeah, it looks like that what might have been the deciding factor. There were a couple other things, but that really, the people I spoke to, that seemed to be really what drove them over the edge. And one interesting result in North Wildwood is that there was a referendum, a non-binding referendum, whether to change the town's name to Anglesey. And in that vote, 60% voted against it. So, and the people I talked to, I went to a couple of the polling place, and they didn't see any need to change the name. A lot of the people I talked to, they saw it as an unnecessary expense and not something that is would do the town any good.
Well, thank you for your report. Thank you for being there, and we'll check with you again a little bit later on, maybe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
State referendum question number 2. 69% of the districts reporting. 51% of the people said yes, and 49% of the people said no. So that's 69% of the districts reporting. That's the money that they'll put the money in the lockbox for the Transportation Trust Fund. And here's question number 1. 73% still holding. 21 to 79%.
It's close. It's getting a little closer.
It's real close. Yeah. 79% voted no. No casinos in North Jersey. I think that horse is definitely dead. I think we can stop beating that baby.
And one of the serious things is to the people of Longport, they opt out of the Atlantic County Library system.
Yeah, how about that?
It's going to cost the county some money.
I bet the county's going to suffer a lot of money.
Yeah, well, we're taxpayers in the county, so it'll come back on us.
I bet you Longport was paying a big part of the freight for the library
Probably
system.
so.
Yeah.
And in Linwood, they will have an elected school board from now on.
And Atlantic City's not going to have to give any tax credits if you homeschool your kids, and they're not going to give any vouchers if you're if you send your kids to a private school.
Yeah.
And we want to thank everybody who called in, all the press writers that called in today. That was pretty cool. They called in tonight to talk to us. And
well, they are our news partners.
Yes, they are our news partners.
They stepped it up. We have Vern Ogrodnik, the multimedia editor.
There he is.
Here in the studio with his video camera. Never thought I'd see you with a video camera, Vern.
It's a scary thing.
All the years we worked together, you had your still camera in there. Now you can't even tell a still camera from a video because they both shoot the same thing, still and video.
Clinton to Colorado.
Geez.
If you get a chance tomorrow, pick up your copy of the Press, too.
Yes, the Press of Atlantic City.
Mine's delivered to my house.
Or just subscribe. Call 272-1010 today.
That's it.
How's that? I remember the number.
I picked mine up at the local convenience store.
Ah, see that?
All right.
Well, at
he
4
likes to
o'clock
have
or something.
person-to-person touch there.
Let's go over the presidential race right now. Going by the Electoral College votes, Donald Trump with 168, Hillary Clinton with 131. In the state of Arizona, Trump leads by 3 points. Colorado has already been called for Clinton. Florida, still Donald Trump with a 1 percentage point lead. There is 95% of the vote counted there. In Georgia, with 50% of the vote in, Trump leads 57-40. Iowa, 53 for Clinton, 42 for Trump. That's with just 30% reporting. Maine with 36% in, 49 for Clinton, 44 for Trump. In Michigan, Trump leads Clinton 49-46 with about 40% of the vote in. Minnesota, Hillary Clinton 52%, Donald Trump 40%. There's about 30% of the vote in. New Hampshire, it is 48-46 for Trump. There is about half the votes counted in that state. North Carolina, Trump holds a 51-47% lead with about 90% of the votes in. Ohio has already been called for Trump. Pennsylvania has 62% of the vote in, Clinton maintaining a 50-46% lead. In Utah, Trump, wow, is this possible? Well, just 9% in, so it's early returns. Trump with 54%. McMullen and Clinton each have 21%.
Who's McMullen?
McMullen is a if I'm not mistaken,
he was the threat.
He was the threat in Utah. He's a Utah.
He's a big Mormon.
He's big, right? He's big in the Mormon Church.
Head of the Mormon Church or
Yeah.
something. He was high up in the
Again,
rankings there. Yeah.
There's only 9% of the vote in Utah is in. Virginia has already been called for Clinton, 48-47%.
Wow.
In Wisconsin, Trump leads Clinton 49-46 with about half of the vote in. That's what we have so far. Once again, electorally, 168 for Trump, 131 for Clinton.
We got Jim McMillan on the line.
Let's go back to Jim McMillan down in Cape May. Good evening, Jim. Hello once again.
How are things going up there?
Not too bad. How you making out down in Cape May, huh?
Doing all right, I think. Things are settling down here on the freeholder race. Both Jerry Thornton, who's the head of the freeholder board down here, and his running partner, Marie Hayes, have been reelected for an additional term. They were challenged by Democrats Dan Krakowski and John Ammenhauser, who fell short. So Jerry Thornton and Marie Hayes, the winners in the Cape May County freeholder race. A good friend of WOND's, Ed Mahoney, has lost out on his bid for re-election, replaced by Clarence Chuck Lear, retired police officer down in Cape May, who was a top vote getter there. Patricia Hendrickson was a second top vote getter. She'll be taking a seat that's being vacated down there. And that's the latest in down in Cape May County.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much, and get a good night's rest. David?
All right, Don, in Atlanta County, for county clerk, this is a final result. County clerk Ed McGennigan has been reelected with 53,888 votes. Paul Rosenberg, the Republican challenger, with 41,626 votes. So percentage-wise, 56-43.
I guess that's a win, huh?
I would say so.
Sounds like a win to me.
And in Brigantine, the Republicans picked up up to 3 seats. They of the 4 there, they won in the first ward as expected. Raritan picked up the second ward, and Dennis Haney picked up the third ward. But Angelo Sciarra didn't quite make it through the fourth ward, and that remains in the hands of Democrat reelected Rick DeLucre in the fourth ward. He will be the lone Democrat now on city council. And Rick, of course, is an attorney, and he is being reelected in the fourth ward. And that about takes care of Brigantine as the Republicans pick up a couple of council seats there.
I was surprised at this question in Atlantic City that it went down as handily as it did.
I think it was misunderstood to a degree, or people didn't really get the push out for it for those who wanted it looked like some people would be able to collect some money.
Yeah, it makes them. Here's the final results in Atlantic County on question number 1. 93.68% of the people decided we should not have additional casinos in North Jersey. That's just as Atlantic County. That's the final. And this is a question number 2, to put the money in the lockbox and borrow $12 billion. 53% said no. They listened to us, Don.
That's right.
They listened to us.
That's right.
46% said yes. So, yeah, that's just Atlantic County's numbers. But I think you're going to find it's
on the statewide. It looks like it's going to. Well, it could be close, right?
This question number 2 is going to be close. Question number 1.
Went down in flames.
21 to 79, and it's been that number every time we get the number. So, yeah, I think
which is a good thing. It'll discourage them from trying it again.
I don't think in 2 years they're going to say, well, let's try it again. Let's see, because they spent.
One never knows.
They spent almost $10 million.
Yeah, we didn't see much of it down here.
No, they didn't spend it here. No, but
it was hard when I first saw
and
that.
neither did the political
candidates. I said, really? But it was all New York television time's quite expensive.
Yeah, well, neither did the candidates that we have running here either. Did they spend any money? They like to keep it a secret that they were running, but I find that disappointing.
And we're getting ready for a break. We'll take a little break here for some of our benefactors.
Coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND is brought to you by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning.
Well, no matter who wins tonight, gold's a good investment. Buying gold or silver? Stop by the Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township, 645-1031 if you want to give them a call. That's 609-645-1031. Gold, silver, coins, jewelry, Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. Call them for their current prices, or better yet, stop in and see them. In stock, silver eagles, maples, pandas, silver bars, and rounds. By the way, they also have White's metal detectors. And if you're selling your collectible or your gold or your silver, if you need to raise some cash, check with others, but make sure you check with Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles. You, like thousands of others, will be glad you did. 3 locations actually to serve you, 6692 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, where they are open 7 days a week. And on Saturdays from 10 until 5, you'll find Doug Keefe himself, the manager, right there in Brigantine at 13th and Brigantine Avenue. Tuesdays from 10 until 3 in the old bank building between the White Horse and New Jersey Avenue, and they're there 10 to 3 on Tuesdays. But 7 days a week, 6692 Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township. Phone number 609-645-1031. Buying gold and silver or selling gold and silver or other collectibles, it's Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Firestone Complete Auto Care. Be prepared for winter, spring, summer, and fall with Firestone FR 710 all-season tires. Now 10% off at Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
It's almost 11 o'clock. Do you know where your teen driver is? Brought to you by Bennett Chevrolet. Find new roads at Bennett Chevrolet on the Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township and online at BennettChevy.com.
Tune in this and every Friday for the Don Williams Morning Show, powered by Shore Urgent Care and Shore Physicians Group. With locations in Mays Landing, Northfield, and Atlantic City, Shore Urgent Care provides quality care close to home. For a complete list of providers, visit ShorePhysiciansGroup.com.
You're listening to continuing live coverage of Decision 2016 election night results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Once again, your hosts Don Williams, Bob Burns, and David Spatz.
All right, we're back, and some on the national scene here. Who wants to break that good news?
Clinton won.
No, we're not yet.
Can't, not yet.
Oh, it's on hold.
Yes.
Embargo to 11.
Oh, embargo.
Let's go local. Let's
All
go
right,
local.
Although Donald Trump wins Florida.
Okay.
Well, we can tell them that.
Yep.
Well, that's a biggie.
Yep.
Florida has been declared Trumpville. And Donald has taken Florida. Whoa.
Look at Don.
I'm getting more big.
He's getting his third
North
win.
Carolina or Michigan.
Getting his fourth win.
I'll stay right
He's
here.
been up
we'll
since
do a
10
marathon.
o'clock. He's been up almost 24 hours.
Oh,
Now you know what? It's
I
not
did
gonna
get
hurt
a
him.
20-minute nap today, and I'll probably get maybe a 20-minute nap.
Yeah, probably
depending
tonight,
on
right?
how this thing's going now. You never count your
You
chickens.
think Happy will be happy?
How could you go home, go to sleep?
Well,
He won't.
I
He
won't.
won't.
I might not.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Let's
He'll be
stay here.
running.
We're having fun. We have breakfast sent in, right?
Yeah, we'll get
More chicken sandwiches out there.
we'll get Scotty to play Jackson Browns running on empty.
There you go.
Running on empty. David Spatz,
Yeah,
our news director, has got some wrap-ups here or some
Well,
finals on some of the local
I have one
scene.
final on. There's a wrap. Okay. I got. I'm not going to
Stop.
I'm not going to do that. I got some results for you. I'm rapping, right? Amy Gatto has been elected to the Atlantic County Board of Freeholders,
Wow.
freeholder at large, defeating Brenda Brathwaite 50-49. It was close. 48,123 votes for Gatto, 46,715 votes for Brathwaite. And that's for freeholder at large.
How about that?
Yep.
With a total turnout in Atlantic County of 174,257 voters. 250,000 people live in the county, right? That's disgusting. But I'll go on.
So how many of them are under voting age?
It doesn't count under voting age.
Okay, you're talking about 250,000
I'm talking
registered
about
voters.
adults.
Adults, okay.
107,925 voted, 61.93% voted. That's pretty good, though, really. When you think about the percentages of people that vote, that's not bad at all. The only guy who does better than that is Chuck Chiarello out in Buena Vista Township. Somehow he drums out 75-80% of his people to vote. I think he goes and picks them up and carries them. That's what he does.
I don't think Chuck Chiarello is
Chuck
picking
doesn't-
anybody
he
up.
does. He's
in the front end loader.
What else do they have to do out in Junior?
Yeah, what else? Well, they bury bodies.
They cut gladiolas and votes.
Yeah, they don't have police department. They just have state police. But anyway, 61% of the people in Atlantic County voted. So, that's not bad, I guess. But
That's pretty high, I would think.
it is. It is.
Compared to some other years. And
Yeah.
how many, what was the total vote for the county?
107,925 voted.
I see the registration is 175,000, if I got my figures right here, 175,451.
Yeah, this is based on 174,000, so it's within about 500
See, but there was
votes.
some new
Yeah.
registrations in.
But that's not a bad turnout. But you know what? There's still 40% of the people that stayed home and didn't vote.
That is amazing.
And they'll be the
especially in
ones
this
that call and whine, They're going to whine about stuff.
Well, let's hope they call in.
Yeah.
You give me your phone number, Bob.
Yeah.
Well, they say it on the
What's
air
that?
all the time.
927-1100.
That's
No, not that one.
No, my home phone number.
Yeah.
926-0333.
Right.
But, yeah, that's Guadano's cell phone number. You give that out too, right?
Well, yeah, but 650,000 people have that, along with the same number of emails that the
yeah.
FBI is investigating.
And the
It's like-
investigation goes on.
Yeah.
Well, if Trump wins, I'm sure it'll go on. Something will go on. And it's going to be a very interesting couple of hours, the next couple of
So,
hours.
how are you going to be feeling tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock?
Well, that all depends. That all depends on whether Donald wins, and not this Donald, but if Donald wins, I'll be still high. I'm pretty sure. I'll be high on life.
Popping.
He's going to stop on the way home and pick some signs up.
Yeah.
And I think all the signs in Brigantine have been picked up.
Yeah. You don't want any signs in the trunk of your car, right?
No, I just got rid of the last one the other day.
Yeah,
Somebody wished they had the Trump
sign.
sign.
And pick up some Trump signs. They'll be collector's items.
Yeah, they'll be collector's
Well,
items.
I just hope nobody takes any off my lawn. I got some interesting ones. One says, "Send Hillary to prison."
Ooh.
That's you don't see many of them. And the other is in the window, I shouldn't say because people say, know where I live. Deplorables for Trump.
One of our callers has a big sign on English Creek Road that he made himself. It appears to be 2 pieces of 4x8 plywood, and it's Trump. It just says Trump, and he's got it lit up, too. So at night, when you go by, it's a red, white, and blue sign. You see a lot of Trump signs.
Well, there were a lot of stealing going on earlier because Trump signs were hard to get, and people, I think, stole them to put them on their lawn and what have you early on. And a lady, what was in the news, what have you, she electrified her. She sent up a booby trap in her sign. So when somebody grabbed they were going to get a shock.
Somebody had taken a 2x4 and drove nails through it and put it on the front side of the sign. So when people drove over it in their car, they got flat tires.
All right, it's time to head for ABC.
And to wrap things up here.
Well, we're going to wrap things up when we come back or right now?
We're going to be done, Don. We're going to let you go home and go to sleep.
All right, so how about if we let David Spatz wrap it?
We have
Jim Bohannon coming up, and the beat goes on. He'll keep you up to date on what's happening.
Coast is also having election coverage all night.
And Coast to Coast will have election coverage all night.
Aliens are going to take the election.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to work for you. We send those aliens back.
Yeah, that's it.
Build a sky wall or something.
Good time, Don. Thanks for being here. Thanks, David.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You all. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for listening.
You've been listening to Decision 2016 Election Night Results on News Talk 1400 WOND. Tonight's exclusive broadcast was made possible by Beachcomber Coins and Collectibles, Bootleggers Liquor Outlet, and Elliott McElwee Heating and Air Conditioning. Now stay tuned for the Jim Bohannon Show coming up next, and be sure to listen bright and early